Bible Apocrypha, first off, I just want to give a note on that. According to Wikipedia,
okay,
the most trusted source, right?
right?
And this is how they describe it. The books commonly called Apocrypha, not being of divine inspiration, are no part of the canon of the scripture and therefore of no authority in the Church of God, nor otherwise
Pause
be
right
approved.
there. Who the fuck is say what goes in and not? Like, okay, it's not official. Who were the voters? Well, we know just from looking at this country alone, let's just be real. It's just a whole bunch of other dudes and gals making the rules.
Yeah. Do they know what they're talking about?
So
you know?
I don't give a fuck I choose what's approved and what's not.
Yeah.
I appreciate the structured book. I really do. The only reason why I even respect it the way I respect it is because of people like William Tinsdale who are willing to die for it. You know, anybody who's willing to die to get us a message, I feel obliged to at least see what the fuck the message was about. But we got a question. Who's to say what belongs in it and what doesn't? I didn't get to sit at that table. I wasn't able to sit at the table and choose what goes in and out. Maybe that book would look a whole lot different if I was at the table.
Or if one other or two other people, you know,
right?
And I, from what I've heard,
it's not canon.
That's what happened with the council.
Damn. I choose. Give me all the shit and let me choose what goes in and out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just my opinion.
I mean, I've had a lot of. There's different people with different sources that say that the Council of Nicaea was the place where they decided whether Jesus was God or just a prophet. That's part of this.
And there was a guy named Saint Arius. It was they had like a live debate about that. Saint Arius, Bishop Arius.
This podcast is with Chris Jones, an internationally recognized bodybuilder, but this podcast is not about bodybuilding. Chris actually has an enormous amount of knowledge on metaphysics and the study of decoding and understanding the true meaning of ancient texts. This podcast does something that's never been done on the internet before, and trust me, I checked, and there is no other podcast going deep specifically with Chris on the deepest levels of the human metaphysical experience with an exploration focused on decoding the Bible and other ancient texts. This is not a podcast coming from the mainstream perspective of religion, in the sense that, yes, it's about religion, but Chris is not, quote, religious. He spent a ton of time studying the teachings of Jesus outside religion and understands the deep symbolic meaning of the words and the numbers in these texts that most people are honestly overlooking. Understanding the secret messages hidden in these texts is one of the most important understandings that we can attain in this life, which is why I went across the country to sit with Chris in person for this conversation. The bookmarks are below. To support the podcast, check out today's sponsor, MetaHuman Shilajit. Other than that, here we go, my friend. Let's get into it with Chris Jones.
It's very hard to say you are trying to reach the highest level of consciousness without at least acknowledging Christ consciousness, because that's the golden standard. And we know gold doesn't tarnish because that's everlasting. Mm-hmm. Peep the game. That Christ, even in Egypt, they have a character named Heru, the Christ. You know, even in the Bible, Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am. Like, this energy, this title has been around for eons. To reach the highest level of consciousness you can reach, you know, it takes, you gotta master something, and then your numbers gotta be crispy. One thing that always stood out to me the most when God said, I'm gonna be the right hand. Now, we study neuroscience. We know the right hand means you're on the left side of the brain. Numbers, logics, statistics, numbers. So he said the right hand of the Father, but his numbers are fucking crispy.
Yeah, and then Jesus had that Bible verse that was talking about the casting the net to the right side when he's fishing.
Yeah.
And
remember the numbers, the amount of fish they caught?
Let me get an exact on that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how big the numbers are.
Yeah.
It's important.
The exact number of fish they caught when they cast that net to the right.
Okay. 153.
Now notice 153 equals 9. Tesla already put you on game understanding 3, 6, and 9. See, get down to that single digit root. Fuck all the fat bullshit. Get down to that fucking single digit root. 9, divine. You know, there's so many so many messages is in that Bible, bro. Like, again, I'm not religious, but you can't deny numbers. That's one thing I would never do. The 4th book of the Bible is called what? Numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you better stop playing. Numbers let you know what's up, because you can't deny it. You can't. Numbers are patterns.
And that's the way that you can, with the Bible is such an interesting book because it has been under the control of the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah. And since it's not really a book that we can claim historically has been free of changes.
Of tampering and fucking
Correct.
with. Absolutely,
and so
I agree.
If you're a genius back in the day, you're going to realize, how can I hide information in plain sight to where it doesn't get removed?
I already know.
And that's exactly what we're talking about.
And then we got to keep in mind, too, a lot of people say, the Bible's here to control us. Think about it like this. This is how I like to think about it. I love bodybuilding. I'm not willing to fucking die for it. Period. Okay? There's a man named William Tinsdale.
Yeah.
William Tinsdale risked his life, lost his life. Because at one point, believe it or not, people, the average person couldn't just get a Bible and read it. Only the higher ups had this knowledge. Only the higher ups and the priests had this knowledge. And it was, again, it's in code. He risked his life to get you a translation of this Bible, to get to the people. So just that alone should make you want to at least see what he died for. That's just my opinion. Someone risked their life to get me a message. Damn, I owe it to him to at least read it. I'm not saying you got to believe everything you read, but if somebody willing to lose his life, because I love living, fam. Ain't nothing like hugging my daughter. Ain't nothing like going to the gym. Getting a sweet fucking pump, fam. I couldn't imagine putting my life on the line because the message mattered that damn much.
Dude.
I couldn't fucking imagine. And it's disrespectful to not just at least scan through it just to get because some of them messages hit you when you least suspect it, because the words are spiritual.
Yeah, and I think that one of the interesting things about you is that, you've got a Bible.
Yeah.
But you said you're not religious.
Not at all.
And I think that it's a fine line that I see a lot more people walking these days, to understand that there's truth in the Bible.
Yeah.
Not completely abandon it.
Yeah.
But also not take a literal interpretation of the Bible. Because I think that's also what we're getting at, is that maybe the Bible isn't meant to be. And I'll give you an example of this.
You go ahead.
So I looked up Tyndale, and you are right on that.
William Tinsdale?
Yep.
Yeah, brother.
He was a...
Hey, shout out to William Tinsdale. Thank you for your sacrifice, brother.
October 6th, 1536.
Thank you so much. We need that message. Thank you.
Yeah. So you are
remember,
accurate.
we see less than 1%.
Yeah.
We see less than 1%. He could be sitting by here.
Be behind your ass.
Right.
Be like, yeah, thanks,
bitch.
William.
Appreciate you,
Let's
William.
go, bro.
Much love, brother. Thank you. I wouldn't be here spreading your message if it wasn't for your sacrifice. Thank you.
And that's not the only one,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. It has. I ain't even gonna. I couldn't. Just know I couldn't imagine that kind of sacrifice, bro. I couldn't think of too many things I'm willing to die for. I'm just gonna keep it 100, bro. Like, I can't thank that man enough.
Is there anything?
Huh?
Is there anything?
Well, cause keep in mind, you gotta be careful what you say, right? Go challenge the world. I put like this: for me to put my life on the line, I have to really believe I love living, brother.
But that's what you're getting at. You'd have to really believe that it was worth.
It had to be worth it.
And it must have been for him.
It had to be, or he a fool, one or the other. But I believe, see that spirit. I couldn't imagine, dude. The spirit gets in you. It can make you see the future and be like, "This is," that spirit is power. Remember, past, present, and future. That Holy Spirit could have gotten that man and showed him what he's gonna be. His afterlife, fuck this world. You don't know what that Holy Spirit showed him. It could have said, bro, once you leave.
Or what he even knew about the true nature of reality.
Yeah. That spirit feeds
maybe we were talking about pineal gland. Pineal gland, before. We were talking about pineal gland just like off camera. And we don't, just because it was 1536 don't mean doesn't mean that they knew less than we do now.
See, I like where you're going. 1536, fuck it. 1236. It don't matter. The years don't matter because this body's been the same. You see how the game goes? Just different ways of explaining phenomena. Mm-hmm. Different ways of explaining vibration.
Yep.
So we can't get too caught up in words anyway. Word salad, as you just say.
Bro, I mean, I was about to get into the words. I do want to mention this stuff
because there's different ways of just explaining the same. Nothing's new under the sun.
Yeah.
Nothing is new under the sun. So it's just all energy and motion.
Yeah.
And no matter if you go to the north, south, east, or the west, find who did it the best. That's why I say study the goats.
Yeah.
Go for the north, south, east, the west. Just see who did it the fucking best. And you're going to start seeing who did it the best. And that's why I came up with the whole slogan, I only take notes from the goats, because you'll eventually notice all the goats have things called common denominators. Remember, numbers is the language of the universe, right? Math. So math is common denominators, right? So once you start seeing these people from the north, south, northeast, southwest, right? These people don't even know each other. Different time zones, different years, but they all have these things in common.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. And you must, if you want to be great too, at least soak up some of that game.
Yeah, and I think there's a key point, though, to that is that just because people agree on a topic doesn't necessarily mean that they're right, even if they're from different time periods, because the same control system could still be in place. So, like, for example, you've probably read books like 1984, but where it's like talking about how people are so controlled.
Okay.
And so if people are under a control system, that's one thing. But I think the point is that these people are in different cultures. Mm-hmm. Right? They're from different parts of the world where they're not all the same culture. That's important, because if it's just like people are agreeing, okay, but if it's like Aristotle in his time period, then you got Tesla saying this, just saying hypothetically.
Oh, yeah.
That is where I love that shit.
Yeah.
Because there's something to it then. Because
before the internet, we had the Ethernet. Peep the game.
Yep.
And remember, Jesus, again, I can talk about him all day.
I mean, we got all day, yeah.
He's the coldest master teacher out here, period.
Mm-hmm.
He picked fishermen within his group for a reason. Nets. Remember, cast your net to the right. Before the internet, we had the Ethernet. All this has already been connected through the mind. Even, all this shit's already been, all thing the internet did is just close everything tighter. The game is still the same.
Today's podcast sponsor is MetaHuman Shilajit. You know the thing about Shilajit is that most of it is filled with fillers and bullshit, and it massively affects your body in negative ways, and it decreases the effects of Shilajit on your body. But this one is 100% Himalayan Shilajit, baby. Think about it. There's a reason why Shilajit in its pure form has been called, quote, the destroyer of weakness for thousands of years. It enhances energy and stamina, boosts testosterone in men, and reduces the inflammatory response. But I also love it for the cognitive enhancement, which helps me to maintain focus so much better. MetaHuman Shilajit is sourced directly from the Himalayan mountains, working with the local Sherpas there to make sure that you get the highest quality Shilajit on the planet. You can get yours by looking in the description below. 15% off. Because you're here on the podcast, the code is Nickzei, my name, Nickzei. Go get yours right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that verse we're talking about for reference is John 21:6. And the actual verse is this. So that way we're not like, we know we're actually talking about.
Yeah, please.
Cast the net on the right side of the boat and you will find some. So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because of the quantity of fish. There's a lot to break down there. And I think what I was getting at when I was mentioning it was, I think it's talking about the right hemisphere of the brain. Mm-hmm. That if you're talking about the Ethernet, right, the left hemisphere, from my understanding, is that you're right. It is equations. It is logic.
Yeah.
And I think that that's useful.
Yeah.
But also ether, if we're talking about ether and ether now.
Because we need both sides.
That connection would happen through the right side, because right side is more open focus. And so that connectivity would happen through the right side. So if we're talking about right side, that's where it fucking is. It's right there. You know?
Yes, sir.
It's interesting. It's interesting. And I also wanted to talk about, you were saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Yes, I love that
John
quote.
14,
I love that quote.
6.
Yeah.
So here's a different interpretation of it. I've studied a lot of Kriya Yoga, which is it comes from. Oh, that's a whole rabbit hole.
Man, all right. That's low key why I want to have my own legit discipline backed by the law. That's a discipline. You call what's it called? What's
Kriya Yoga?
Okay, see, there's different types of yogas.
There is different types. Yeah. So Kriya Yoga is one that came through in the Dark Ages. It was supposedly something that was around for a long time. That's getting into a whole nother conversation about how the cycles of humanity, the Yuga cycles, I don't know if you've heard of that, but basically there's a 25,000 year cycle, and we're coming out of the dark.
So it's very similar to how Buddhists think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They believe like the animal cycle,
reincarnation cycle.
Okay.
Yeah, those are similar.
Okay.
And that would be the micro of the macro scale would be the 25,000, and there's different.
So pretty much consciousness experiencing itself in different versions.
Yeah, and basically with different levels of truth that are present in the society, dependent on what actually it is in the Yuga cycles. That's in a book called The Holy Science by Sri Yukteswar. And in that book, he talks about how there's a second sun, and we actually rotate around that second sun. And this is Vedic. This is not just somebody made this shit up. It's called The Holy Science.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I can get you a copy.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I got a copy right there.
That sounds interesting as fuck. Yeah. Okay.
So what happens is that when we get closer to that sun, then we hit, basically we become more conscious, because you could think of it like the energy of the sun is consciousness. And so when we talk about Christ consciousness, one way you could say that even metaphorically is that you have more unity within within yourself, the realization of unity. It's not that it wasn't there, but you have just realized it. And so that's actually getting into the point, is that in Kriya Yoga, they talk about this verse. And so one of the things that they're big on, not on that, but just in a lot of different areas, is, like I said before, the Bible symbolic, right? So John 14:6, if it says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one gets to the Father except me. A lot of people take that in a literal interpretation of Christ, you have to go through me to get to heaven.
You have to go right through Jesus to get.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right? I mean, that's the big part of that specific doctrine. But what the Kriya Yoga has talked about, and many other scholars who would interpret it from a symbolic lens, is that I am the way is actually referring to I am, not as in the personal Jesus.
Yeah.
The concept that in the Bible, I actually want to back this up because I want to make sure I'm not full of shit.
Yeah.
There is a part in the Bible that it talks about. Okay, Exodus 3:7. Exodus 3:7 through 8. God said unto Moses, I am that I am.
Yeah.
Now apply. Okay, if God is saying, I am that I am. Now, if we take it back to that verse, I am is actually the realization of oneness with God. So if we say Christ consciousness, what I'm getting at is that maybe it's not a personal Christ, but it's rather a title, Christ being a title, and it's a consciousness level. So that if we look into Kriya Yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, for example, talks about Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Okay, so it's what we're talking about is not through a specific person, but through the realization of a consciousness level within your state of being.
For me, Jesus Christ is the ultimate prime. Kind of like, who's the best basketball player? We gotta have Michael Jordan, right, to some degree, at what it means to be a well-rounded, complete in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
So when I think Christ consciousness, Jesus Christ character comes to my mind, right? But yes, when I read that quote, I am the truth, I am the way, nobody gets to the Father but me. I don't read that as you got to go right through Jesus. It's the truth is the only way. You feel me? Yeah. I see that. I take the key words, the truth, Because notice in the Bible, what verse is that? You can pull it up. He says, I am not good. Only God is good.
Let me grab
He says, I am not good. Only God is good. What verse was that?
Only God is good. No one is good except one God. I think that's Mark 10:18. Okay, here, let me get this better for you. So if we're using King James, it says, and Jesus said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God.
Yes, God. And God is the spirit of truth. God is the spirit of truth. You serve that spirit in truth. Jesus Christ said, I am the truth. I am the way. Why? Because of John 10:30. John 10 verse 30, he says, I and the Father are one. See, once he became one, fully aligned and perfectly, notice he said, Jesus said, I am not good. Only God is good. See,
I mean, that's it.
He became one with the Father, and the only way you can do that is if you got to have the top-notch discipline. Some people can't even get a six-pack for the fucking summer, right? Can't even stop going to the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Can't wait to Sunday to cheat. You got to cheat on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's nothing compared to what it takes to be a Christ-level consciousness. You understand?
Yep.
Jesus fasted 40 days. And then the tempter said, eat this bread. Turn these stones into bread. He said, no, a man can't live on bread alone. That's the level of discipline. That level of discipline it takes to reach that Christ consciousness is showing you what it takes. He's the manifestation. No, is Christ the way that you gotta go? You gotta get to me. No, Nope, you gotta get to me. No, God is for everybody, but you gotta be worshiping God in truth. Jesus Christ is the prime example of what it means to tap into that highest consciousness possible, and it ain't for everybody. That's why they have lukewarm. You know, it doesn't say, if you're lukewarm, I don't fuck with you. It said, I'll spit you out my mouth.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's not destined for greatness. Everybody's not destined for leadership. Everybody's not destined for that kingdom. Some people are here to give you a great message. No disrespect to Terrence Howard. Some people are here to give you a great message of just, hey, make you think. Remind you to question everything.
It definitely made people think.
Right? Make you question everything.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick to just believe everything you're told. But it takes a special kind of mind to take that knowledge and advance people.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes a special kind of heart. Notice the Egyptians weighed the heart. Because let's be real, we all got fucking bills to pay. It takes a special kind of heart to advance people, and you not even want, at least from what we can tell, to get anything from it financially. You know, so that's why Jesus Christ is the ultimate prime example. And in my opinion, no master can compare, because he gives you the coldest game, right? That little putting the net to the right, the 153 equaling 9 is nothing compared to the game he gave us if you break down every verse by the crumb, by the bit. And then we talked about William Tinsdale, willing to die for this shit too? Or can't no teacher compare to that? Now, again, no, you gotta get to me. No, you gotta be willing to vibrate in truth. And Jesus Christ is just the ultimate example. So whenever you get weak or you feel like this is too hard, just remember, somebody did it. Somebody did it, and you see less than 1% for a reason. There's so much energy feeding your body, you just gotta believe. There's so much energy feeding your vessel. You just gotta believe. It's gonna help you. It's gonna vibrate through you. It's gonna push you. It's gonna keep you strong when you're feeling weak. But you gotta believe. And that's the hardest part. I'm not gonna lie to you. That takes a lot of time, and you gotta really know who you are. You know?
Yeah.
You gotta. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still growing to this day. You know? I'll
Same,
be
yeah.
lying to tell you if I reach that level. I'm still grinding. I'm still climbing. I think I'm above the average person for damn sure. But bro, there's still weaknesses, there's still holes in my game, and I'm still working on it every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think that humility is necessary.
Yeah, but to answer your question, yeah, that's by no means, when I read the Jesus Christ story, it's just to give me a pride, because there's several master teachers. Jesus is just one of many teachers I've studied. I just feel like his name holds a lot of weight for a reason.
Of course.
That's all. His name holds weight for a reason, and those teachings, I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for when I had my awakening, and we'll talk about that. The psychedelic stuff.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came upon the Christ consciousness. I wasn't even looking for it. At least it kind of came to me, and I thank God for it every day, because I probably wouldn't even be here, brother.
Mm-hmm. Now, for you, I think that one of the interesting things is, what made you decide that the traditional Christian or Catholic or Judeo-Christian route, you could say,
yeah,
other than the obvious reasons, but like for you, what made you take this different path in comparison to where you're able to see the symbolism? Because so many people are talking about it literally.
Yeah. Well, it even tells you in the Bible, once you get to a certain level, you spiritual. You don't have to go by the law. I consider myself a conscious spiritual being first and foremost. I feel like religion pushes you in a box and doesn't allow you to be fluid. To stay in flow state, I must be fluid. You know what I mean? Water freezes when it gets below 33. Starts to freeze. See how the game goes? Water begins to freeze once it gets 32 and below. Keep the game. Now, in the Bible, Book of Genesis, we can get to this because we got time for sure. Notice in the Bible, let there be light. Let there be light, right? So darkness is first then, to some degree. See, I like to stick to the numbers. I don't like getting emotional with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like to stick to the numbers. To some degree, if we said let there be light, that means some darkness was pretty much first, right? So we got light. That's established. And then he separated the waters. He separated the waters. Pull that verse up. Is this going to be a screen showing this, or is it going to take a...
I will actually put the words.
Okay,
I'm going to go through the whole podcast and make sure it's fucking dialed, brother.
Yeah. What verse is that when they separated the waters?
Waters. So that is Genesis 1:6.
Separated the waters.
It's quote, let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the NIV version. And God said, let there be a vault between the waters to separate the water from water.
So vault, seal. See, that's why this word play, peep the game.
Yeah, I think also it does matter the version though. If we're talking about words, then I need to be specific. You like the King James though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so do you want me to give you the King James?
Yeah, King James, cool.
Okay. Because it does actually very dramatically.
But here's the thing though, as long as the translations use words that have similar weight, so there's a reason why after the flood, they used the rainbow, because remember, colors, each color represents a vibration, represents a frequency, represents a seal. But we're going to talk about that later. We'll pull this.
I'm looking up what you're just talking about.
Waters.
Well, now, okay. Let me get the King James. It keeps giving me the New International Version. So you're talking. Tell me if this is what. Okay, I'm going to start with Genesis. There's a lot of Bible verses that talk about rainbow. Not a lot, but there's a couple. There's Genesis 9:13. Yeah. That's different. That's I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. I'm not sure if that's the flood you're mentioning. I think that's later.
Yeah.
But let me give you the actual, the firmament one. And so this is a King James.
Talking about separating the waters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day.
Now think about that. to separate the waters. Remember, what does water do? It changes form. See how the game goes? Water, we can't even have life on earth without it. So water is a messenger showing you how the game works. So water goes solid, liquid, gas. It tells you right there in that book, he separated the water. So there's lines. Water starts to fucking freeze once it gets below 33. He let you know that. Now peep this game. What sets those numbers? The laws of fucking physics. Notice we have hydrophysics.
Mm-hmm.
We have aerophysics, right? So we have physics, and there's different versions of physics to go with these different versions of the waters. Okay? What's the common denominator? What's linking that all together? We overlook it. God gave us a light during the day and then a lesser light. That moon is overlooked. That magnetism. It sets the laws. Notice even in Islam, they wait for the crescent moon before their holy month of fasting. They wait for a sighting. They wait for that crescent moon. People overlook the moon. Okay? So we just had a total eclipse. What was that? April 7th? People were losing their shit, right? There's a thing called the lunar solar cycle. Type that in. How long is a lunar solar cycle?
I think it's just the lunar cycle.
Now type the whole word. See?
Lunar
solar cycle.
Maybe you're right. I could definitely be. There it is. Yep.
How long is that? How long is it?
Oh my God.
How long is that?
33 years.
You're damn right. I don't make the rules, my brother. Just like I don't make dieting rules. I didn't create the curl. I just do the fucking curls. You know, brother,
Yeah.
if I can make the rules, brother, I'm going to tell you straight up. I can make the rules. I would have people bow on their fucking knees while I walk through. I'm just joking around. But seriously, I don't make the rules, bro. I just take the fucking notes, bro. And if anybody comes to me with answers, they're stressed out. What's your problem, bro? We get to the bottom of it. I'm going to give the motherfucker some numbers that he can't deny, and it's going to help him, whatever he's going through. Because everything's numbers, not just physique-wise, but business-wise. If your vibration's off, your mental health is off, there is some numbers that are off somewhere. But it's hard to open up to people. That's why people pay for psychiatrists. You know? Because it's a damn shame you can't be honest with your friends, because your friends might go home and tell his wife what you, man, you won't believe what he,
Yeah.
You can't be open. And even in the Bible, it says a good friend is a blessing. It lets you know, but the friendship word is thrown around so loosely. You can't confide in friends like you used to, because you need something to bounce off of.
Yeah, and that's
sometimes it could be going, some shit just be in your head. You need somebody that you can bounce your shit off of. You got good if anybody out there got some good friends in your circle, you know, man, try to hold on to that, guys. Because let me tell you, especially in this day and age, it's really hard to find good. Those are the angels in your corner. Remember, we are all God in our reality. You're gonna have angels and demons. The Bible clearly showing you how, you know, there was a war in heaven. If there was a damn war in heaven, you don't think there's a war in your head? There's going to be a war in your household? Just let you know to stay on top of your game. You can be challenged anywhere, you know? So I don't feel like the Bible is here to control. It's just to give you some tools. So if you're ever in a state where you need some shit that makes sense, you can make sense of it. And there's a reason why. Again, fam, read the shit with a metaphysical lens. There's a reason why they use certain words, because certain words hold certain kind of weight that's going to stand the test of time. No matter what reality you live in, there's going to always be somebody who should be a servant, but they're a fucking serpent instead. Whoever was in that Garden of Eden was supposed to be working it, supposed to be keeping it going, supposed to be keeping it flowing. Shouldn't have been telling Eve to do anything, but for whatever reason, they did that, you know? And some people are going to say the serpent is the villain. Some people might say the serpent is the hero. It depends how you look at it, you know? But the point I make is everything has some kind of balance. You know, everything has some kind of balance, and when you disrupt that balances, it's going to have consequences. What are your thoughts on the whole Garden of Eden serpent thing? Because I have mixed feelings about that story. I have so many mixed feelings about that story.
Yeah, so I did a video about this, and I think that it's actually referring, the tree of life is a reference to the nervous system.
Yeah.
And that it's more talking about the symbolism. I mean, there's two different things I could talk about here. There's like the Nicaea interpretation, and there's also the I wouldn't call it Gnostic. There's an interpretation of that it's not bad, like you're saying, because
What? Let me structure it, because that's a Blake question.
There's a lot of different ways I could go with that.
The book, the Garden of Eden's Book of Genesis story is so fascinating to me because I look at it from several angles. Like, do you think Eve was wrong for disobeying direct order? Do you think the serpent is wrong? Because if you notice in the Book of Genesis, it says, look, you eat from this fruit, you die. Right? That's what it said. And when they ate from that fruit, they didn't die. Now, does that mean God lied? Or maybe he didn't give you the whole truth? I didn't say you'll die instantly. I just said you'll die. You might die 100 years from now. You might die 200 years from now. And then, you know, it's almost like, shit, who let the serpent in the first place? The way I look at it like this is the take-home message I took from the Book of Genesis. I took the take-home message was, that was the test and they failed. It was just that simple. Because, again, we only see less than 1%. That was just a fucking test. I feel like God is just a mad scientist to some degree. Notice how people have to bring up Anunnakis and all this type of shit, right? Yeah. I feel like to some degree, he's a creator, you know, a mad scientist, whatever you want to call it. And he likes raw, real numbers. Like the Book of Job story always fascinated me when Satan came to the temple, asked could he test Job, and he said, sure. Now, why? Why did he allow him to do that? If like somebody come to me and say, hey, I'm testing your homeboy, nigga, fuck you are. Right?
Yeah.
Why would he allow that? Think about that. Because Satan told the truth. And the truth is, how do you know he's loyal? He ain't been tested. See, God is a spirit of truth. That's why I don't like religion. Because God is a pure spirit of truth.
Well, hold that thought then. Then I want to ask you.
Yeah.
If God is the spirit of truth, I'm going to give you the actual verse. So this is Genesis 2, verse 17, King James. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So, okay, let's take that.
Win, though.
But
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying, because
you got to the point, because I was going to ask you, if he's the spirit of truth, then why did he lie?
See how the game goes? He give you the whole truth. See how the game goes? Just feed you enough to where you can have, because you give too much, then they get stuck. You want them to think, to some degree, see how they going to react under pressure. Weights, I see how you move them in 30s, okay. Let me see how you move them in 40s. Oh, shit, that's your limit. I see you. I got your numbers now. See, that's pressure, easy to see. Metaphysical is different. Remember, physics and metaphysics is the same shit. It's just a different version. Separating the waters. See how the game goes? So that was their test. You know, pressure applied and you failed. I would say, bitch, no, don't eat that. I ain't eating that shit.
Interesting. Dude, this is so interesting.
Me personally, knowing what I know now, because keep in mind, it's easy to say that shit looking now.
Yeah.
I probably would have ate the fruit too, who knows? Because I would have saw she didn't die. You see how the game goes? The serpent said, dude, this fruit here gonna give you God power. That's tempting. That would tempt anybody. You know? It would give you God power. And then she ate it and didn't die. Now I'm questioning God. So it's only right to doubt when you clearly see she ain't fucking dead. It's perfectly natural to have doubts when numbers ain't adding up. You said we eat from this fruit, you die. I got this. I'm not gonna use the word. Holy bitch.
Bruh.
I got this bitch over here. She ain't dead. And she telling me I can get God power. I don't know what to believe. Bro, it's perfectly natural to have doubts. Me personally, I would have, this is how I would have played it, right? I would have just been like, look, you ate from this fruit, you ain't dead. I need to ask why God, when God come through, I'm going to ask him why she ain't fucking dead. Give God a chance to trust in God. Because again, like we just said, he didn't say when you die. Maybe you die, maybe we get to live forever, and now you got to die 100 years, right? It doesn't say when. Maybe you're going to die like a balloon. I poke a little hole in it. You know at some point that balloon is going to. Now, the average person don't know that I poked a hole in it. That little microscopic hole, tiny ass hole I poked with a needle. So eating that fruit was kind of like the equivalent of poking a hole, you know, through your vessel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so deep, you know. I would have personally just, when God come back, let's just play it cool. When God come back, God knows everything anyway. Shit, I'm gonna ask God why she ain't dead, and take it from there. But once you ate from the fruit too, bro. The test failed. Now y'all in this shit together.
You want to go even deeper on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because there's a whole nother fucking level. I
Keep
can drop
going.
it down the rabbit hole, bro.
Yeah.
I think the bottom of that rabbit hole is that. First off, have you ever read the book, The Da Vinci Code?
Never read it, but I saw the movie.
The movie was kind of trash.
Okay.
But the book
I hate when they do movies on books and that pisses me off.
I know, it's so fucking
It pisses me the fuck.
Me too. Trust me. Because now people.
Because low key, I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't really start getting into reading until my awakening.
Yeah.
I'm visual. That's why we remember talking about the left side of the brain. The right side is for the creativity, the visuals, the artistic, you know, so both sides of the brain matter. That's why the Egyptians had the hieroglyphs, right? The Medo-Natural language, their words have visuals with them. Because some people like myself, I'm more visual. And it pisses me off when people do fucking movies off of books or documentaries of somebody's fucking life. And there's elephants, ignore because I'm big on detail. It pisses me the fuck off, bro.
Yeah. So this is one of those situations where the movie ain't shit compared to.
Okay.
But
I'm pretty sure you're going to put me on some game. Rub me down.
Yeah, you peep the game.
Okay.
Okay, the deeper level of this is that, remember, this is just like I'm not saying this is facts, but this is what it says.
Okay.
That that story is actually an invention of the Roman Catholic Church in order to demonize Mary, or not really Mary, but the woman.
Okay.
And the point is that throughout history, if we look at what happened with the Bible, this is what the Da Vinci Code talks about.
Yeah.
The goddess or the woman was specifically demonized for men to maintain their positions of power. And there's inquisitions to prove this. There's 5 million women were killed over just look at history.
Yeah.
Like, this is not just like bullshit. So the idea is that the reason why she ate from that is, according to that, because maybe there's a demonization kind of going on there.
So you probably were saying people use the Genesis story, Garden of Eden story, as a way to pretty much what's that word I'm looking for, bro? Justify the mistreatment of women and kind of keep them down. Because to some degree they feel like,
well, yes, but also it's not even just about keeping women down. It's about making the woman the thing that we blame for original sin. Kind of, yes. And so but that's because men are looking for power. Yeah. And if you do that, no women ain't going to get power because they're already looked down upon through the version, not only of that, but also the way that Mary Magdalene was portrayed in the Bible is very different from a lot of sources saying what the original was. Some of the books being removed from the Bible that may have told a completely different story. So when we're talking about the Bible, if we're talking about like what is the literal, how do you feel about the literal meaning of like what happened in the story? It's like, I don't even know if it's literal. I feel like it's more symbolism that we don't even know if it's true. We can dissect it. It's some symbolism is there, like we were talking about the numbers, the gematria, which is something I wanted to talk to you about today. But it's there to give us clues, but I think some of it is also there to lead us from the truth. And so we have to be able to decipher that within ourselves first. And if we can't, then we're not connected to what you're saying, the spirit of truth, which is God.
Well, we got to break it down by the crumb, brother. See, again, when it comes to this Bible, for me, I'm not reading it like these people existed and all this stuff. I'm taking these numbers because I'm taking these numbers. I'm not looking at it like the book of Genesis story really happened. I'm not looking at it like a lot of these characters really existed. I'm taking the numbers and break it down. Notice in the book, he refers to his people as a lost sheep, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what is a female sheep? Google that real quick.
I feel kind of stupid. I don't know this, but E-W-E.
No, don't be feel about the spelling. Don't be feel about it. It's you. Now, even though it's spelled E-W-E, right? You. It's Y-O-U. So Eve was just him. See how the game goes?
That's interesting.
It was his female nature. You understand? Eve came from his rib. Notice DNA. Nucleic ribo. The word rib is in there. Ribonucleic acid.
Yep, that's it.
Right?
Yep.
Google that word DNA for me real quick. We gotta say that out loud because I ain't touching my muscle memory. What is the full word DNA? Is deoxyribonucleic acid? Yeah, I have my numbers on point, bro.
It is deoxyribonucleic acid.
Yeah, see, notice that word rib is in there.
It is.
See how the game goes? See, the Bible is, remember, all that jargon.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one. That was good.
all that scientific jargon. Some people just need some stories that's going to stick because we don't need a whole Terrence Howard. Right? Stories like this gives you all their meat and potatoes stacked. You see how the game goes?
Yep.
Eve was just Adam. That was it. You know how I told you earlier, I drive by the fast food and I want to go, but a voice in my head said, nah, you got to stay in your shit. Wait till Sunday, right? He probably already thought about eating that damn fruit, but he had nope, God told me no. But once he had an hour to bounce off of, that's his first real test. Somebody to talk back, somebody who actually ate it and still alive, that could fuck anybody up. I know that'll fuck me up. It's just letting you, the story is not to be taken literally. It's take this game. Be ready for your test because it could come in many ways. We're all connected. That's already backed by science. We're all connected to the universal source anyway. Eve was just him. It was just a different version of him. All he had to do was beat himself, just like bodybuilding teaches us. Bodybuilding teaches you every day how to beat yourself. I could easily stay in bed, watch Baki the Grappler with my daughter, watching cartoons from sun up to sundown, but that ain't gonna get the bills paid. That ain't gonna keep me looking in shape. You know, it takes discipline to know when to tap in and out. You know, it takes discipline to not give in to your lower desires. You know, it takes that high level mind. And Adam's first test, he failed. And it's just a story. It's just to put us on game. Be ready. You know, stay on top of your shit because your test gonna come too. Notice in the book of Job, his own wife tested him. At one point, she said, just die. Pretty much told him, just go ahead and die. And he still stayed faithful to his God.
I'm trying to find that exact verse.
Yeah, pull that up. That's why I love that the stories just show you how energy truly works. So you can when your test come, go ahead.
Job 2:9.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It is. Then his wife said unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die.
See, test. See, that was his Eve moment. He passed. See how the game goes? See, the situation looks different, but numbers wise, macros, micros, numbers, angles, points, it's the same exact fucking situation. It just looks, don't be fooled too much by the look. It was the same exact test. Pass. Remember, Satan said, how can you know he's loyal if he ain't been tested? Well, there it is. And if you peep the game in the Job story, he got everything back. Same amount of kids. It was 7 and 3, right? And if you want to dig deep into the Job story, if you dig deep, talking about Bible pages missing, he ended up getting a different wife. I don't blame him. Bitch telling me to die. I don't know. I can't. What? See, I look at that low key like Satan knew deep down that wife was his. Satan knew deep down where his hole was. He just wanted to reveal it to Job.
Where he could get to.
That was that right there. See, she was the one, who didn't have his faith. You feel me?
But then you can't rely on other people to have faith in you.
You got to have it in yourself. Because if you peep the game, if you look at the pages, like we're talking about pages missing, Job ended up getting another wife named Dinah. He ended up getting another wife named Dinah. And he ended up having the same amount of kids. 7 and 3. I believe it was, look it up for me real quick. I think it was 7 boys, 3 girls.
I'm trying to find that Bible verse you're talking about with Dinah.
Well, that's taken out.
What is that from, though? What text? Do you know off the top of your head?
Talking about the text of that got taken out from the Job story.
Yeah. Do you know what that's from? So I can look it up. Is it the Nag Hammadi text? Is it the Gnostic text?
No, not Nag Hammadi. I'm pretty sure we Google deep enough we can probably find it.
Yeah. I'll look. Go ahead.
Yeah, cause I be tuning in to them Jewish scholars and stuff like that.
We're missing Job.
They call Apocrypha text. Meaning
Apocrypha? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that you type it in on Google and you just got all the
exactly.
Catholic sources. This is what actually happened.
Yeah.
It's not giving you what you're actually looking for.
But if you read the King James Bible, it doesn't mention any new wife. All it mentions is he got the kids back. He got his wealth back. And I believe some people might say that's manipulation. Like they want you to see shit a certain way. I look at it like this. Maybe they want you to focus on the main important thing. The important thing is it all comes from you anyway. You can look at it 2 different ways. You can look at it like they took that out of the Bible.
So, yes.
Go ahead.
Bible Apocrypha, first off, I just want to give a note on that. According to Wikipedia,
okay,
the most trusted source, right? And this is how they describe it. The books commonly called Apocrypha, not being of divine inspiration, are no part of the canon of the scripture and therefore no authority in the church of God, nor otherwise
pause
be
right
approved.
there. Who the fucking say what goes in and out? Like, okay, it's not official. Who were the voters? We know just from looking in this country alone, let's just be real. It's just a whole bunch of other dudes and gals making the rules.
Yeah. Do they know what they're talking about?
So I don't give a fuck I choose what's approved and what's not.
Yeah.
I appreciate the structured book. I really do. The only reason why I even respect it the way I respect it is because of people like William Tinsdale who are willing to die for it. Anybody who's willing to die to get us a message, I feel obliged to at least see what the fuck the message is about. But we got a question. Who's to say what belongs in it and what doesn't? I didn't get to sit at that table. I wasn't able to sit at the table and choose what goes in and out. Maybe that book would look a whole lot different if I was at the table.
Or if one other or 2 other people,
right?
And from what I've heard,
it's not canon.
That's what happened with the council.
I don't give a damn. I choose. Give me all the shit. and let me choose what goes in and not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just my opinion.
I mean, I've had a lot of. There's different people with different sources that say that the Council of Nicaea was the place where they decided whether Jesus was God or just a prophet. That's part of this.
And there was a guy named Saint Arius. It was they had like a live debate about that. Saint Arius, Bishop Arius, depending on how you look at it, you know.
Arius?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
The Council of Nicaea, right?
Yeah. So there is a big debate.
It came up.
You're right.
Yeah. And I believe even punches were thrown. I don't want to say. Let's just say, let's stick to the facts. It got heated.
For sure.
Right. And it was a heated debate. And low key, if you dig deep, bro, Saint Arius, I'm just saying, with all due respect, he was making some good points, but he got outvoted.
Okay, so this is interesting. According to...
He made some damn good points, and he got outvoted. How you going to trust Rome if they're the ones who crucified Jesus in the first place? How the hell am I going to trust these people to structure my belief system?
Yep. You're right. In the year 318, okay, that's what we're talking about, a priest of Libya named Arius began to preach, and this is from a Catholic source, so understand the source, right?
Right.
That he began to preach a false doctrine about the Son of God.
Again,
he denied.
They say it's false.
Correct. Correct. Again, people the source, and we got to recognize that.
I question every goddamn
This
thing.
is the narrative. Yeah, exactly.
False. According to who?
God, dude.
Fuck you.
But that's what you get again on the when you're Googling. If I want to Google it quick, the first 10 results are all, or the 20 are all the same, right?
False doctrine. I say it was false. Give me to be wrong. But I know it's false.
That's what we're doing, bro. That's exactly what we're doing. All right. So this is what they say. He denied that the Son of God is this in the same sense that. Okay, he denied that the Son is God in the same sense that the Father is God. According to Arius, the Son is not eternal nor of the same substance with the Father, but is a creature.
It's as simple as this: if he's begotten, how the hell if he's begotten, how could he be God? If he's begotten, he was obviously created. You know, I feel like.
Okay, I got an answer for something else you said.
And I feel like both sides made valid points.
Yep.
And then you really think about it, it just confirms it's like a video game. You can tap into the highest level. Jesus is the one who Yeshua, Isa, whatever name you want to give him, Isa, they call him Isa in Islam, Yeshua, Jesus. He's that person who said, I am not good. Only God is good. He had that top-notch fucking discipline, and he made it to that level. You know, so I believe St. Arius and the council, they just couldn't come, just like politics, the left and the right, they can never come to that middle ground. You know?
Yeah, 318 bishops.
I believe both made valid points. You know, both made valid points.
Yeah. And so what we're talking about, for those who don't know, the first council of Nicaea was the first ecumenal council. I don't know if I got that right, but the word pronunciation. But the Christian church, and it lasted.
Of course they're going to
325 CE.
Think about it.
318 bishops. Go ahead.
Of course he's going to be outvoted. You know, like think about it.
But imagine that 300 people decide the fate of millions. How big is Christian?
Bro, it's huge. And then keep this in mind too. Once Christianity started merging into Rome, right, with the Roman Catholic Church, books that went against what they were pushing were burned. There's a reason why we found the Nag Hammadi scriptures buried. Right? There's a reason why we found Dead Sea Scrolls buried. That's how powerful words are. That's how powerful truth is. There's a reason why that shit got found. Words that are powerful.
That much power?
Just words they wanted the books fucking burned.
And they killed how many people?
That's how threatened they felt. They felt they were that threatened by some words. And you mean to tell me you want to at least just glance at it? Oh no. I'm gonna at least glance at it. People died for this shit?
So 318 or so bishops decided what 2.38 billion people now
Fuck
believe.
that. Fuck
That's
that.
just Christianity.
They should have had me at their table. If I
Can you imagine how different it would be if 200 more people were there that thought differently? You're telling me it was all decided? And you know, there are some people that disagree
this is the foundation people are building their metaphysical. Remember, just like squatting, you need to ground the squat off of. This biblical books, these religious texts, this is how people are going to structure their beliefs on. So I think it's very crucial. You know, I'm not complaining about the book at all because
I mean, we're not we're dissecting, we're understanding it. That's what we're doing.
But because once I dig deep into it, I realize, okay, this is probably why they structured it this way. Because like we just talked about earlier about the pineal gland having so much shit hitting you at once. Like you need something solid, you know, to build off of. I believe to some degree, it's a good place to start, like the book, like the Bible. But once you get a deep understanding and you're ready for more, expand your horizon. There's so many books out here. There's so many books out here. And at the end of the day, God is the spirit of truth. Why would you be scared to have your beliefs challenged? If your shit is truly the truth, you shouldn't be scared. I know for a fact I'm not scared to hang around other trainers or watch other training videos because I'm secure in my style. I know it works. It works for several other people. If you're really secure in your belief system, why not just hear other people out? Because nobody has all the answers, period.
Well, that's part of the problem, isn't it? That people are saying, fundamentalist groups are saying that this book has everything and you can't, everything else is demons.
That's bullshit.
Essentially.
That is bullshit.
Right? You know, like you aren't allowed to look at any other texts. To some extent, depends on how fundamentalist you are. There's like hundreds of different groups. But I think what you're getting at is a really solid point. Like, for example, you were talking about the inner battle, right? Mm-hmm. And how that's a part of the Bible, part of it.
Yeah.
Right? The Bhagavad Gita, one of the most popular and famous texts of the Vedic traditions, which a lot of people are more familiar with Hinduism being called. It's not the only one, but one of them. And literally, it is about that. That is what the entire premise of the story is. It's Arjuna and Krishna are on a battlefield. And if you study it, you know, you don't just get like the New Age interpretation. If you actually study it, it's very metaphorical. It's known by those who read it that it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the difference between the Bible Christians.
And it's funny, enough stories existed before.
Older.
See, and
they're
there's a reason,
older.
and they're even telling you take the metaphor because no matter what, just like the Job and the Adam and Eve story, notice they look different, but they were the same. You gotta keep that's why I like the Bible again, because it gives you numbers. That way, oh, this is the Samson situation for me. You see how the game goes? Yeah. Oh shit, this is the Jesus situation where he got betrayed for me. The situation looks so different. You too caught up in the year and all this type of stuff. No matter what year you're living in, what planet you're living in, whatever, there's gonna always be numbers. You know, and if you stick to those numbers, you won't be caught off guard.
Yeah.
It's kind of like martial arts, right? I look at books like the Bible is to help with your mental martial arts because everything flows from the heart. You know, everything flows from the heart. That's why you gotta protect your heart. You gotta try to be biased because you want a true discerning heart. A true discerning heart, you can't. That's why I struggle with this to this day. You can't be too biased because I used to have it real bad, judging people off of how they look. I'm in the bodybuilding. Can't do that. The spirit is a whole different level. You know, a true discerning heart, bro, is able to take the essence of a person, right? And when you really level up, you start feeling people's energy. It's like you ground, you do grounding.
Yeah.
It's like you can feel that shit. It's certain people, you can touch their hand, like, oh shit. You know, I'm telling you.
There's power there.
Dude, it's like a real life video game. And so many people give their power away by believing bullshit. So many people are giving their power away by believing bullshit. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. And I don't trust one group of people to give them to me.
And the answers aren't even the same for every person.
And if something is really true, you should be able to go all over and get the common denominators. I should be able to go to the north, south, east, and west and have common denominators from every fucking angle. From people who never even met. Notice there's pyramids around the world. See how the game goes? So, that's why I was telling you earlier. If I like religion, it puts me in a box. I just want truth. I want truth, and I want real love that I can feel. I want truth, and I want love that I can feel. You feel me?
Yep.
A hug, and there's a difference. A cold hug is hugging an empty vessel versus like grounding in the earth. That's just one example of how energy works. There's days where I'm all tight and stiff. I go outside, my shit just pop locking on its own. That's just one example of how contact with another thing that's vibrating can do for you. That's why sex is so powerful.
I think it's called sympathetic resonance.
Yeah.
In terms of like a different vibration affecting something else's vibration from a frequency standpoint.
Well, all this shit can be backed by atoms, the science of atoms. So anything you come up with, that you can be that's why again, when we're talking about Andrew Huberman, that's what fascinated me about his channel at the beginning. Because so many things, like who's saying, get sunlight in the eyes. Well, ancients, like Egyptians, were already talking about that. Notice, notice the eye. They had a lot of eye symbolism. If you really look at the brain, that third eye looks just like the eye inside the brain.
You're talking about the Eye of Horus. Correct?
Yeah. Because they were already that was their way of explaining things.
Yep.
You feel me? Everybody has different ways of explaining how energy works, and I don't want to get too off topic. What were you saying?
Oh, I mean, the Eye of Horus is right on top.
Yeah, cause we floating. I like this though.
Yeah.
What we're talking about.
We were originally talking about Dina and Job's daughter.
Yo, see how the game goes. we went from Dina. Okay. Yeah,
that's about how it goes.
That's cool though. How it goes.
I did get some info on that though.
Yeah, go ahead, tell me.
And by the way, if I'm looking down, I'm just looking at stuff. Yeah. So I'm still listening for sure. And I just don't have a fucking Jamie that's like, hey, bro, pull that up for me.
Yeah, and one day you will, because you're just cold.
Yeah, thanks.
I like what you're doing, man.
Thanks, man.
I really do.
Dina and Job's daughters, right?
Now, keep in mind, this was taken out. Mm-hmm. It's not in the standard King James official stamp of approval book. But if you do some digging, yes, go ahead and tell us.
Okay. So I'm fucking looking at the source and I'm like, this isn't what I was looking for.
So many sources.
Dude, it's hard to find. It's hard to find. And they probably on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like that, but I also know that like everything that's just coming up is compare Bible verse translations. Job's story in the Bible. Okay. The Gospel of Thomas 1:14 saying of Jesus. Man, okay, so Google is not helping right now. So I think I can confirm one thing. So Dina is mentioned in the Bible.
Not an official canonized.
At least.
But does it bring up does they bring her up in the
Jacob and Dinah in the canonized Bible does come up in Genesis 34, and it's talking about now Dinah or Dina, the daughter Leah had born to Jacob, which I think is a different story.
That's somebody, a whole different story. Let me see my phone real quick before.
If you could find.
Okay. Did Job get remarried? Maybe that's something that pop up.
Maybe I'm just doing it wrong.
Yeah, we gotta finesse these searches, man.
They're thinking about what are you gonna search first, and you gotta outsmart it. Huh? Yeah. Marries. Oh, it is the same. After the death of Uzit, Job marries Dina.
See that? Apocrypha. You see that?
Yep. I need to like put when I do these podcasts, I need to put like a screen share on so I can just share my screen. But I'll do that next time. But his wife on being old. Anyways, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. But okay, here we go. Academia.edu. See full PDF. Canon and Apocrypha. I would have to see. This is how
Yeah, they do
deep
some
it.
digging, huh?
Yeah, so I probably are going to have to do some digging.
But it
and
did
see.
mention
If people know in the comments, let us know what that story is, because I mean, I can't necessarily confirm it, but
yeah.
but I get what you're saying.
But the point I was making was, let's just say hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, there was Job got remarried to another wife, right? And what would be the purpose of leaving that out? That's Paul was getting at. What would be the point of leaving that out? Because at the end of the day, the take-home message is he passed his test, he got everything back. Why take that part out?
Well, I guess my guess why they take it out would be if they're saying you can't get a divorce in the Bible.
See, exactly. Little detail could fuck. Because
well, I don't know.
It's telling me this.
Maybe.
If he keep the same wife, that's telling me, damn, I gotta let a chick slide with telling me to die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? See, that's how cold it makes you think. So keeping the same wife, are you implying that I gotta fucking let a chick slide on my deathbed telling me to go? I don't know about that, you know. Again, Christ is the ultimate example. He said forgive, but I don't know if forgiving means still living with you. I can forgive you, but I don't think I can still lay next to my head. I can still hold you at night. I can still make the same kind of love with you, knowing you wasn't with me at my lowest. I can forgive you. See, when
can you trust?
Yeah, see, taking that little detail of him getting a different wife, you know, some cats might feel he got to stay with the same woman who clearly shows she failed him, and that's not healthy either.
Yeah, and so
you know,
yeah, I think I did find something.
But the take home message was he still got the same 7 sons, 3 daughters, the same numbers. Think about that for a minute.
It is 7. Yep,
the same numbers: 7 sons, 3 daughters. Because at the end of the day, it all came from him anyway. Regardless of the wife he was going to have the same type of kingdom. He was going to have the same kind of reality. He just needed to choose the right helpmate. You see how the game goes?
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like they should have left that in. And just let people think for themselves. Because somebody might assume, because it doesn't tell you in the King James Bible, it doesn't tell you in the King James Bible that he divorced his wife or kept the same wife. All it did was tell him later on he eventually got his wealth back and he had 7 sons and 3 daughters again. You see how the game goes? But that micro detail matters to me. That matters to me. Why? Because when I have a homeboy that is in a Job situation, she might have shown disloyalty. He might feel he gotta stay because in the forbidden books, see, in the hidden books, It clearly said he got a different wife, and he had the same reality with or without her. Because when you're truly on your purpose, the right partner is gonna keep shit flowing. But the wrong partner can destroy your shit. You know. That's why, again, books like the Bible is just game for me. It's just a soak up game. I don't like taking the Bible like Bible thumping. I look at the Bible, I'm deeply into the studying of it on a conscious level, on an esoteric wisdom level, because I understand these are just numbers and patterns that are everlasting. They're going to be going around. There's somebody right now going through a Job story right now.
Yeah.
Going through a Job situation right now could use some game. Going through a Samson story right now. And he doesn't see it because it looks different. You see how the game goes? It just looks different. But nah, brothers, the same numbers. When you peel back the layers and get down to the computer science of it, like the binary computer coding, you're in the same sequence test, fam, and you're failing. You see how the game goes? That's what I'm trying to get at. And that's why I brought up that little detail of the wife being changed, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. At one point amongst the Jewish community, this was known. But when you have outsiders, let's just call it what it is. The people who voted on what goes in and out the Bible are the people who low key, they wasn't part of the Roman Catholics weren't even Jews. Right? And then there's two different kind of Jews. There's like the religious ones, and then there's the mysticism. There's a whole different one. There's Jewish mystics. You know,
there's Orthodox, Reformed, Conservative, Reconstructionist.
There's so many different sects.
Yeah.
You know, so
they don't even agree.
No, exactly.
Just like, this is what it is.
So what I like to do is hear from everybody and think for my damn self.
That's what I do.
Yes, I hear from, and then I pray for higher guidance, because remember, we can only see less than 1%. I pray for higher guidance, continue to guide me, and I promise what you share with me, I will share with others who need some game. You see how the game goes? Because they will help you, because there's other people who aren't even born yet, or depending on something that others are, kind of like in a race passing the baton. There are seeds that I could potentially be planting that can help somebody 100 years in the future.
Yeah, I mean, our whole civilization is really on the line right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't just like, oh, we'll do good. I think this is a great point. This isn't just about, I'm going to do good to reach my potential because that would be good, which is one level. That can be true. But there's really the whole human race is what we're talking about. We're talking about like survival as a species. If certain ideas make it to the top in our civilization and then they can start to control society, our civilization could end. And we see that the rise and fall of civilizations, it happened to Rome. It happened in many different parts of the world.
I'm so glad you brought that up, brother. That's low key. We'll talk about that a little later, but that's low key, bro, why I brought these books with me. Because civilizations, this country, that's why I got the God Bless America Bible, is making some of the same mistakes that ancient civilizations have made. You feel me?
How?
And notice if you're familiar with the Bible, the weeping prophet. The weeping prophet.
Can you explain that?
Jeremiah. Okay, so Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, if you peep the game, this is how you know the spirit is eternal. It flows through vessels. He said, pull up the verse. I like numbers,
Yep.
He came up to the temple and he said, you've turned my father's house into a den of robbers. Pull that up. Jeremiah the prophet said, shout out to Jeremiah.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Okay. So you're talking about
Prophet Jeremiah.
Matthew 21:13?
Nah, it's definitely in Jeremiah. That's the point I make. You beat my punchline. Goddamn. See, Jesus said the same thing, but he changed a little word. One guy used thieves, the other guy used robbers.
Yes. So I'm getting Matthew 21:13. At least this is. And said unto them, it is written, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves.
Okay, now pull up Jeremiah's.
Let me get that right translation.
Yeah.
Okay, so King James Version. Okay. Jeremiah 7:11.
Okay. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 11.
Yeah, is this house which is called by my name become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, saith the Lord.
See, same message to different people. That it can use anybody to get that. Truth is truth. So I ask the higher power, just guide me to the truth. And if I'm ever wrong, let me know so I can let others. I don't want to lead nobody astray. None of that. Like I tell you, I'm not religious. I'm just a man who want to love people and help people and live my truth. And I want to tap into my power. I'm trying to reach the Christ level, period. That's my goal anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I want that Christ level kind. Not just throwing it, Christ consciousness. Put the fuck out of here. Some people don't even have nowhere near the level of discipline and hit to reach the Christ consciousness. You see how the game goes?
Mm-hmm.
I hate that word being thrown around. That Christ crown is heavy as fuck. And you familiar with anime Dragon Ball Z?
Mm-hmm.
Notice Piccolo had the what? When he took that crown off his head, that hat, remember that hat weighs a shitload. How much that shit weigh? Google how much Piccolo held. That's why I love anime. It gives you so much game. Because low-key, out in Asia, they're not behind on their knowledge. They have the Eastern shit going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They're not behind on their shit. They're into the herbs and the and chakras and all that. So low-key, they be putting that spiritual messages in their anime.
250 pounds?
Piccolo's hat? How much?
I'm getting Goku's weighted clothes, dude. I'm trying to find it.
Piccolo had a weighted cape, and I guess you can call it a cloak, and he had a weighted helmet, hat on his head. He kept on at all times. When he took that shit off,
at least 2 to 4 tons is what it says.
That's what it's. You know, anime they gonna jazz it up with the numbers. You know, 10 tons. Yeah. But the point I was making is, you gotta notice brain and spine and central nervous system. His shit stayed on to keep. You gotta keep your neck stabilized. See how the game goes.
Mm-hmm.
Conscious and erect. Notice in Egypt they had the cobra on their crown. Core strength, strong. The snake can stand up with no arms. Strong core strength, strong core values. They give you the game. You just gotta break it down by the crumbs. Don't get caught up just on the image. Why is that image there? See how the game goes? Don't get caught up in the symbolism. Why is the symbolism there?
Don't get caught up in the story of what is literally happening.
I like a little why. Notice they say why, Yahweh for the why. That little why is so powerful. Notice the word. Notice in English language they have vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Sometimes why. Why. Sometimes I don't want to go to the gym today. Why? Next thing you know, you breaking yourself down. Oh shit! I'm just doing this shit for attention. Fuck. I need a new reason now to go to the gym because whatever that was motivating me is burned out. See, when you start asking yourself why, the talent, especially when you're grounding consistently, you start asking yourself why and you're grounding consistently and you're in that sun consistently, start answering your own fucking questions. And then when you're stressed out, it'll bring people to you. Hey, you read this book? What? That's how I found about that. Fuck your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God, he has a help.
Yeah, bro.
And that's when it hit me. Network. Before the internet, we had Ethernet. At the end of the day, the brain, I have a specific amount of people right now out of my reach. You see how the game goes? You're part of my network now. At one point, people had to literally do the groundwork. That's why missionaries like Jesus, they had to do groundwork. You feel me?
Yep.
Like networking, people are sleeping on the power of networking because when you're lost or you need some guidance, how else are they gonna get the answers to you? They're gonna use vessels that have reach. That's why people like Job was tested by who? His wife, because that's the closest person to him. Who else gonna test you? Your tests or messages a lot of times come from the people closest to you. That could be a good or bad thing, but either way, it's still an experience that you're gonna have to go through. I don't like using that word good or bad because sometimes the worst shit that ever happened to you, you look back, that was probably for the best. When you look back, but while you're going through it, it's like, hell fucking no. Right? Yeah. That's why there's a saying that always stuck with me. You're in hell, nigga, keep moving. If you're in hell, why would you stay there? It always stuck with me. Keep moving forward. So all this, nothing moves straight bullshit. Keep moving fucking forward. Because, like I said, past, future, present is that isometric hold that's holding everything into place. All we have is that present moment vibrating, constantly vibrating, you know, and you got to keep moving forward. Eventually, it's going to make sense to you later. Eventually, whatever you're going through, it's going to make sense later. Just keep going forward. Don't get sunk. One of my favorite scenes from the Bible is the walking on water. What did you take? What was your take-home message from the walk on water?
I'm going to pull up the verse.
That was such a powerful message. I don't even think people understand how powerful that message was, brother.
You know, I actually watched that on The Chosen. Did you see that?
That show, listen here, I tried to give it a chance. There was a scene where a woman was getting demons casted out of her, and she mentioned the name Lilith. You remember that scene?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was actually Mary, if I'm not mistaken. They just casted demons.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And she mentioned the name Lilith. In the Bible, that would never happen. If you're gonna give a biblical show, I need nothing but shit that was in that book. Don't jazz it up with anything extra. Because, and the funny thing is, maybe it was, man, shoot, I wasn't there. Maybe a spirit named Lilith came out of her mouth, but it wasn't mentioned in that Bible. You see how the game goes? But on that TV show, it mentioned Lilith. And you know, in Gnostics, that name Lilith is a whole other rabbit hole. Apparently, before Eve, and guess what? Somebody gonna say, "No, it's not biblical. No, you can't." Shut the fuck up. I read what the fuck I want to read.
And of course, they're making, bro. And then they're making.
Ain't biblical. You can't. Shut the fuck up. Who voted what goes in that book? Other people? Whoosh. Whoosh. No. I choose what goes in my brain, what goes in my head. So I checked the little story out, and it makes a lot of sense. Who's to say Eve wasn't the first try? You know? Who's to say? I don't know. I just question everything. But yeah, the point I'm making out of that Chosen show, bro, they mentioned
I think you're right.
When they cast demons out that lady, she mentioned Lilith, and that was never mentioned. That's not biblical. I don't like when you take, because some people, like, when I was a kid, I didn't like doing a lot of reading. So I'm depending on documentaries and movies to give me facts. And you're adding shit that, you know, and again, Lilith could have came out this woman's mouth, but it's not mentioned in this book. I haven't seen it mentioned in the Apocrypha, like hidden text, right? So why is it in your show? Because somebody's probably gonna repeat this. Because somebody, like maybe my daughter, for an example, might watch the Chosen show, and she remember she cast the demons and she mentioned Lilith. That baby, that wasn't in the Bible. So you might be saying some shit that somebody's put in your head. And regardless of how you may feel about it, the ancient philosophers told us we have 2 eyes, 2 ears, but 1 mouth for a reason. You gotta be very careful what comes out your fucking mouth. So my question to that show is, why bring that name up if it's not in that book? You know, that's the question they're gonna have to answer.
You're referring to Epictetus, who said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak."
Oh, yeah.
That's a stoic philosopher.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, bro. Like, keep in mind, I butchered the shit out there. But
it was close. But the meaning was there.
But guess what? The same passion and the same message was still received.
Yep.
You see how the game goes? Because at the end of the day, this universal source of intelligence is for all of us. All of us need that message. I don't give a fuck if you're Greek, you're Roman, you're Latin, you're Atlantean.
Atlantean, what?
I don't give a fuck what you all. We all need to hear that.
Yeah.
That's why one of the strongest muscles on our body is what? The madness. The jaw. You see how the game goes? Because it not only helps you chew your food, but you might need to shut the fuck up and clench your jaw. You see that? Because you might say something stupid that you're going to have to eat later. You might threaten somebody. You might you might say some shit that's gonna come back to you, and you need to shut the fuck up. That job, that masseter, that's the strongest, one of the strongest muscle pound for pound for a reason to help you eat. Notice that's an isometric contraction, by the way. Remember, opening and closing, that's negative and positive. That's lengthening and shortening. But isometric hold. Remember, in the present, that's an isometric force. Sometimes you need to shut the fuck up, let people talk. Sometimes, like I told you about the Eve story, I'm waiting to see why this chick ain't dead before I think about eating this fruit. Let me just wait. That's low key why I never took steroids. I decided to work out for him. Oh my God. So that's why I know for a fact I would have passed my test in the Garden of Eden. I would have said, at the very least, let me ask God why the fuck she ain't dead before I decide to eat this fruit. Now, if God give me a bullshit ass reason why she ain't dead, that don't make sense, then maybe I'll eat this fruit. But until then, I'm going to trust in God. He gave me all this. He let me name everything. See how the game goes? He let me name everything. He made me a helpmeet to keep this shit flowing. The least I can do is ask him why. Why the fuck she ain't dead? Don't spit in his face by eating this fucking fruit he told me not to eat. At least give him a benefit of a doubt. And guess what they say? You're right, son. She's not dead, but she'll be dead in 50 years. Okay, cool. Now, 50 years passed, she still ain't dead.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole.
See how the game goes?
Yeah.
Remember, we can only see less than 1%. You don't know what's in store for you. Just keep playing. But the moment he bit that fruit, game over. Now you're on your own path. Good luck. You're going to the dark, and you're going to have to claw your way out. You're going to the dark, and you're going to have to claw. It looks like light because you can see. Oh, no. Spiritually, you're in the dark. You see your own son gets killed by his own son. And you're going to learn all these lessons the hard way. You see how the game goes? And then, when you hit your full circle, then you're going to realize why I told you to eat that damn fruit. But at the same time, it's not the fruit. It was more so you're not ready for the responsibility that comes with that knowledge. See, it's so many ways to look at it. You can look at it like, oh, this guy wants people in the garden naked and stupid. Right?
Yeah.
He wants people in the garden butt naked and stupid. He said, who told you you were naked? This house, you want me so stupid. To the point where you only want me knowing I'm naked, right? That's one way to look at it. But you can look at it like this. That's how tight he wanted his numbers. Like, he knew that idea came from somewhere. It didn't come from him. Now his test has been destroyed. His scientific study that he's working through Adam and Eve, it's been destroyed because there's no way in hell you should know you're naked right now. Where does that idea come from? You know, there's so many. That's what consciousness is all about. It's about looking at it from every possible angle. Look at it from God's point of view. Look at it from Adam's point of view. Eve's point. See, take yourself out. That's what the hardest thing to do is taking yourself out of this shit. Let me tell you, brother, taking myself out of situations and seeing it from their shoes, takes your power level to the next level. How many people hold themselves back and thinking in there? You got to think, try to empathize to some degree and put yourself in their shoes. You know? And it hits way differently. And I'm like, oh, and then I realized, man, some people I could have been better to. Some people I could have been more patient with. Forgiving others is one thing, but forgiving yourself for the people you've wronged, forgiving yourself for the things I put in my body that I shouldn't have, forgiving yourself is hard too. That's, again, I can go on about that Bible. Again, I'm not religious, but it gives you so much game because you got to look at it from every angle. Don't look at it from one view. I look at it from every angle. And when you look at it like that, you start seeing, oh shit, bro, this is deep.
It gets really deep. I mean, let me give you an We've talked about this Garden of Eden for a while.
Yeah,
I
go
gotta
ahead.
give you something completely different.
Yeah, please, man.
This is Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, who is
Yogananda, he's the guy who came here in the early 1900s. I
Yeah.
think Tesla ran into him.
might have.
He
He
went to
might
see
have.
he went to see like political officials and all kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So-
believe if you look into Tesla, him and Tesla were cool.
I'm gonna
Because at one
absolutely.
point Tesla went on a journey. He studied the pyramids. He grew up with a religious mother.
That was Swami Vivekananda.
Okay, so it's a different person.
Different person,
Okay,
but
cool.
yeah, they were into very similar things. They're both yogis, but
Okay, so it's two different people.
two different people
Okay,
though.
cool.
So this is what the Garden of Eden and all of the symbolism, what does it mean from the Eastern perspective and kind of the Kriya Yoga perspective? It says, God or divine will materialize the original man and woman, symbolically called Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve represent the two
Notice, sorry to interrupt you.
You're good.
But notice it says symbolically.
Yep.
See, I love that
I mean, they
word
know.
because it represents something. Stop worrying about what year. What
What did she do? Yeah.
Place it on the map.
Yeah.
Even in the Bible, it tells you don't get worried about the elementary stuff. This genealogy, too deep into genealogy. Focus on these hard numbers. Go ahead, though.
Okay. So Adam and Eve represent the two natures of God, reason and feeling, expressed in
I love
separate
that.
bodies.
Whew, I love that.
In man, God kept reason uppermost and feeling hidden, and in woman, he kept feeling uppermost and reason less prominent. In the original plan of creation, man and woman, ideal soulmates, were to lead a heavenly life by keeping their minds in the paradise region at the point between the eyebrows, the spiritual eye.
Oh, no. But notice, keeping it two sides in the middle, isometric. See that again? Notice, physically in the gym, we have isometric holds. Remember Piccolo? Keeping your neck straight.
I mean, that's in Qigong too. It's all about, you're in Qigong, you're supposed to imagine when you're doing it that there's a string pulling you up and getting your
keep
body
the game.
symmetrical.
Keep the game.
Yep.
And notice they said two different bodies. Where I just told you earlier, Adam and you the same person. See how the game goes? Same numbers, different ways of explaining it. See that? But go ahead. I love this shit.
So they say the Garden of Eden represents the inner bliss Adam and Eve knew when they lived focused at the spiritual eye. So I'm going to say that again. The Garden of Eden represents the inner bliss Adam and Eve knew when they lived focused at the spiritual eye. So when they were focused here, and the tree of life in the midst of the garden symbolizes the inner spine that runs through the center of the human body. When focused at the spiritual eye, the divine energy flows upward through the inner spine. Adam and Eve, having been made in God's perfect image, were in constant communication with the Almighty, or communion. God told them they were free to enjoy all the different fruits or senses in the bodily garden, attractive sensations of sight, hearing, smell, and taste, but not to partake in the fruit, which is the tree of life in the middle of the garden. The fruit of this tree, the sex instinct, is sometimes spoken of as the apple. God warned Adam and Eve that if they ate the fruit, they would surely die, meaning they would fall. So that's the symbol. They would fall from divine consciousness. And it says, why did God issue this warning? The first human bodies appeared on earth as a special creation of God. When God materialized the first man and woman, he created bodies with a brain and nervous system that allowed for the full expression of divine consciousness.
Wow.
Yet the souls of Adam and Eve had once been in animal bodies. Evolving upward from the lower animal forms, their souls had attained the level of development that fitted them for a more refined physical vehicle for the expression of their consciousness. God caused the animal soul for further advancement to reincarnate in specifically created human bodies, so beginning with Adam and Eve. And so it's actually something about reincarnation in here. And so, however, the memory of past sex indulgence in lower animal forms lingered in the subconscious of Adam and Eve. God's warning was intended to prevent them from awakening that subconscious memory. As children of the divine, Adam and Eve inherited the free will either to obey God's warning or to affirm the separate egoic reality to forsake their divine attunement. And the last part here is...
Man, my energy is going crazy. It's my first time hearing this shit. I'm one of those guys, I don't like bouncing all over the place. See, I studied discipline, masters, and I would eventually got around to this, but I'm so glad I got to hear it from you. and I know you're into this shit. Like I'm into it.
Yeah,
So,
this is my shit.
I'm like, okay, this is just more confirmation. Notice I was just saying, same body.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's explaining this shit on a deeper gram by gram bit. See, everybody ain't ready for that. The average person say, that devil,
Yep.
demonic,
Dude, that's what it is.
You don't tell how many years this planet been here. It could have been here trillions on top of trillions of years. You don't know how many times this shit's been done over and over again. We don't know everything. Stop thinking you know every damn thing. I love hearing. I want to hear from everybody. And notice that story is completely different, but it has common denominators. I'm going to hold on to those common denominators.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold on because that's where those are hard truths. You know?
Dude, the last part, it's one
Please,
paragraph. I gotta
please.
It's so interesting. So the serpent that tempted Eve is the powerful Kundalini energy at the base of the spine.
Yeah.
Which stimulates the sex nerves and draws the energy downward in the inner spine.
Yep.
When tempted by the serpent, Eve, the feeling aspect in human nature, subconsciously recalled the procreative process in the animal kingdom and felt an attraction to sexual expression. Feeling or emotion, once awakened, overpowered the faculty of reason symbolized by Adam. And you were talking about the left side earlier.
Ooh, I know.
So here's the last part. Through their misuse of feeling and reason, Adam and Eve came under the sway of duality, or Maya, or the knowledge of good and evil, and lost their attunement with the divine. Their sin was in choosing the outward sexual energy over the inner bliss in which God had invited them. And there is a ton more, and I'm not going to go into it.
And if you peep the game, let's talk about it on a physical level, because John 3:12, pull that up real quick.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
John 3:12.
Shout out to Jesus. Jesus, thank you so much for what you've done for us. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your sacrifices.
Shout out Yeshua.
Thank you. John 3:12.
Yep. If I have told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things?
Earthly things is the physics, the physical. Master something physical. The metaphysical come naturally. So let's talk about this on a this is a bodybuilder, because it's the same universal laws. The reason, right? All that. We just talked about that earlier. It's just as simple. Somebody, because I said so, is not enough for the average man. Because you said so ain't enough for me not to do something. I didn't know why you say so. And the fact that this chick ain't dead, I have doubts. And doubts have weight. Period. Doubts add weight. So my body is like about 180 pounds right now. It takes a certain amount of mental energy to carry this body. See, some people take that shit for granted. That's why some of these cats need caffeine, because they're way down. See how the game goes?
That's me.
Right? And I'm not saying
That's me
caffeine's bad.
sometimes.
I do pre-workout for the gym and stuff. But I'm talking about they need it all throughout the day.
Yeah.
You see how the game goes? Because when you get less information and you're in tune with your body, you start feeling energy hit you. Like, I need a boost because I'm about to go to the gym and I want to give outside of myself performance. But like every day, and I can make it just on nice nutritious diet, lots of fluids. You see how the game goes? It takes a certain amount of mental energy to carry my body. People take that for granted. Now just imagine trying to get to the gym carrying this body. Now I got 80 pounds of doubt. This shit even gonna be worth it in 20 weeks? Right?
What's the utility or value of doubt even?
All the shit I'm missing. I see, then this is taking me away from my woman. I could be home. See, you start having, those have weight too. And the amount of weight for your goals, that's weight. So let's say your goals weigh 200 pounds. Like the amount, I want to see my shit. I want to see my new physique. That's 200 pounds in weight. But the weight of excuses outweigh. You see how the game goes? And when your weight of excuses are heavier than your goals, anytime your day is like you're late you're running behind, it's gonna be easier to say no, right? Or any chance of struggle, you're gonna take the easy way out. You see how the game goes? So I can't blame Adam. You know, doubt is heavy. You told me eat from this fruit, you die. You know, and then Andrew Huberman, we won't get to him later.
Mm-hmm.
He said a quote I'll never forget. He said, "There's no cure for curiosity." The reason why I never forget it because he's a PhD and he's in neuroscience field, so that means something to me. Now, if it was just Joe Blow on the street, whatever. But somebody with a PhD in neuroscience, see how I hold him to a higher standard? That's why that psychedelic shit, I hold him to a higher standard. He's a PhD. He ain't Joe Blow down the street. With this guy has millions of people, millions of eyes on him, and he's held to a higher standard. Period. There's no cure for curiosity. Adam he's curious. Eve, curious. It's perfectly natural. I don't blame them, you know? I probably would have felt too. But luckily for me, I have the knowledge because they made mistakes, so I don't got to make them. That's essentially what it is. Notice Jesus died for our sins, right? Well, this game has been around long before Jesus. There have been many people dying or taking L's for the benefit of others, one way or another. You know, there's several ways. Every death ain't physical. A guy used to be rich and then he lost it all. That's another death. Adam and Eve getting kicked out the garden, even though that wasn't a physical death, changing vibration, changing living standards is another death. All death, a physical death means it's completely game over. You know, spirit leaves the body. But we live and die every day. I remember Bruce Lee said, I don't want to fuck his quote up, but Bruce Lee says something along those lines of dying. It was in a movie. I'm pretty sure you can pull it up.
I'm going to pull it up,
Because
yeah.
I consider him as an ascended master.
You talking about The Art of Dying? That quote?
Read it to me.
Like everyone else, so this is a quote by Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win,
Yeah.
but never to accept the way to lose,
Mm.
to accept defeat. To learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
Because we die every day, especially when your thoughts are challenged. You believe you gotta notice again with the cobra on the neck of the helmet of the Egyptians. That's so symbolic. Why? Shedding.
Snake sheds.
Brother, this consciousness shit. You notice how I've been tight all day? I've been slacking on my grounding. Gotta get back on my grounding.
What's been going on, dude?
I've just been slacking a little bit, bro, because you're slacking. And also, when you gotta know when to let certain things go, 'cause it can affect your fascia. Your whole your body and mind is connected as one. Any kind of tension, stress. That's why I made sure I got things taken care of before I came and saw you, so I could fully be in the present. Just if I'm sitting here thinking about my child can affect my body, I can get tightness in my chest. You know, you gotta be able to and so many people probably might not be ready to wake up into that third eye stuff because it's that level of overthinking that's gonna happen. You calculate so many numbers in your head once that third eye opens. So many numbers. Just my posture right. Oh, this ain't good. This ain't good for my posture. You thought every little detail. Oh shit, I ain't sleep. It makes you over. It brings every detail to you.
Yeah,
details that you would have otherwise overlooked. You know, now you're thinking about it, and now you can't unthink about it. I can't sit here like this knowing this is fucking my posture up, right?
Yeah.
So, bro. There's people who are trying to expand their consciousness and really tap in. Just understand, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. I love it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to ask you about a Bible verse. Matthew 6:22 through 23.
Yeah.
King James. The light of the body is the eye, and therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
That's such a powerful quote. See how you just that little. See, somebody say, "Oh, I live in body." They just keep scrolling down. That don't hit them because spiritually they're not there yet. But somebody like you read that, it hits you a whole lot differently, and especially knowing what you know about the other disciplines, right? And what we just talked about, the keeping the eye centered, the imaginary string, because that's where that spiritual. Notice in the David and Goliath story. You familiar with that story?
Where is that at in the Bible?
David and Goliath story.
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay. if you peep the micro details, Goliath is armored the fuck up. Okay? David didn't wear no armor because his armor is invisible. Put on the full armor of God. He had that metaphysical armor. And notice he hit him right here because Goliath was spiritually blind. He hit him right where he was weak at. Now you took to the Greeks, they have the Achilles story.
It's very similar, right? Yeah.
There's what people overlooking the micro details.
You're right.
And
they hit him in the center of the head, or forehead, right?
Yeah.
The same spot that we're talking about.
It's see how now the average person reads that, hit him with a rock and just keep going. But when you're in tune, you read that message, oh shit, he hit him there. That means something. Why? Why there? Why in the middle of his eye? Right? Why there? Why did they blind Samson when they captured him? You see how the game goes? Because he was out here acting like he was blind. You don't telling a woman your precious secret like that. See, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, but when the spirit really communicates with you, that's why we gotta have our own personal relationship with God. We gotta have our own personal relationship with the Most High. Because just like Samson, he had a meal plan to stick to. I like to call it a meal plan. And one part of that meal plan, like I have 3 eggs in the morning or some shit like that, it clearly says don't cut your hair. Because whatever reality, remember,
I haven't been, bro.
Right?
I'm growing.
Just like, cause we know quantum.
You've been cutting your hair.
Oh, of course. I got my own rules. Because in quantum physics, we know possibilities. So whatever plan the Most High had for Samson, he wanted him looking a certain way. Point blank, period. He made that clear. And
you actually, on another time, go ahead.
And Samson, if you're familiar with the Samson story,
yeah.
Abuse of power. This is called what it is. He's supposed to be a judge. Samson was a judge. He's supposed to have the higher mind. He wasn't behaving like a boss. He was behaving like a future king. One of his rules is not supposed to marry foreign women. There's 12 fucking tribes, brother. You can find one woman out of the 12 tribes you could be messing with. Because these women are not loyal to your system. They're not loyal to your God. They're a potential enemy. And notice even though he didn't marry this foreign woman, he didn't marry that foreign woman, but flirting with death. See how the game goes?
Yep.
You hang around long enough, you're going to say some shit that you should not be saying.
And from an esoteric perspective, it said that words cast spells.
Yeah. And upon making this, once I started tapping in, the Most High started giving me numbers to stick to. And let's just say, brother, my meal plan requires a level of discipline I don't have yet. But I'm working on it. You see, part of my meal plan is not cutting my hair, thank God. But
me neither.
But he's giving me numbers because we all gotta be nobody's perfect, but you need something holding you together. So I spent a lot of time deep reflecting because just like physically, our eyes, we can only see a certain wavelength. That's how every sense works. Sounds, all that shit, And there's voices that you have to be so in tune with yourself to hear. You can't hear an ant crawling, but it makes a noise. You just can't hear it. But there's that inner voice from that higher frequencies that speaks to you, but you got to be so in tune with it. And to get deeper and deeper and deeper in tune with it and stay in tune with it, it's going to start giving you certain codes to stick to because you got to be whole. We are all individuals and you got to stay whole. You have to stay whole. There's been many times where I thought, man, maybe taking steroids can get me a higher level in fitness. But at the same time, that's not what I believe in. So therefore, if I do that, I'm selling out to some degree. I'm not keeping my soul whole. I'm not keeping myself whole. But somebody who doesn't value those things, remember, core values, they're not necessarily selling out. They might be risking their health, but they're not selling out on a soul level. That's why I don't like speaking in absolutes, because you can't determine if someone's truly selling out till you know what their core beliefs are. You know their core values. Somebody don't value their body as much as somebody like myself would, so I can't judge him for not caring about it. You know, somebody might not value a nuclear family, or like, you know, because maybe he didn't grow up with one. You can't. So once I understood that we can't judge everybody based off of our standards, it really let me have more empathy for people and sympathy. Empathy comes necessarily from experience, but just because I may have never experienced maybe your specific, hey buddy, your specific trauma, but I experienced trauma, so to some degree I can at least sympathize with you. You know.
Yep.
And once
back up.
And if you really want to truly be part of altruism and truly serve others, you have to be able to, you know, take yourself out of situations and empathize for others. And that's been a blessing for me, because for the longest I couldn't relate to the average people, the everyday people, because you understand being in the fitness world, bro. Like, it takes a certain mindset to do this year after year after year, and it's a little selfishness. You know, one of the reasons why I like bodybuilding so much, because low key, I'm a selfish individual naturally. I'm naturally selfish. And
what do you mean by selfish?
I'm all about myself to some degree. Like, I put myself.
Do you think that's part of bodybuilding?
If you want to be like top level competitor, not see, there's bodybuilding lifestyle. That's like you have all these different types of Jewish religions, right?
Yeah.
Right. There's the bodybuilding lifestyle, which is what I'm more into now. And then there's the competitive aspect of it, right? And yeah, to be at one point in my life, I thought that maybe I would could pursue, you know, competing, you know, because man, you took me down to a whole other rabbit hole experience. But long story short, you know, I've always liked working out, but I never, you know, I knew I didn't want to go to college and all that type of stuff. You know, I need to figure out what kind of career path. And yeah, fun fact, bro. Like, pretty much every job I've literally ever had, to some degree, I got fired for most of them. Damn. Right? I couldn't really hold down a job because it's really hard for me to stick with a job I'm not passionate about. And one day my dad was like, "Look, one thing about you, you're gonna stay in that gym. Why not just get a job around maybe working at the gym?" So I went to the desk and was like, "Hey, I need somebody to clean, whatever. Maybe give tours, whatever." They're like, "Man, look, the way you look, you need to be coaching people." Mm-hmm. And it always stuck with me. Oh shit, yeah. I never looked at myself like a coach like that. You know, he's like, "Man, you should be coaching people." And I said, "Hold on. I'm gonna always need to feed myself. I'm gonna always pay my bills. Why not do service based? You know, there's gonna always be somebody looking in the mirror saying, I don't like what the fuck I see. And people will pay you handsomely to fix a problem, right? Plastic surgeons are making a killing for that reason.
You know, it's crazy. We're here in Texas. There's so many women with plastic surgeries.
Man,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
People, it looks unnatural, though.
Any holes in your thoughts, somebody's going to capitalize off of it. Any holes in your feelings about yourself, any holes in your discipline, and that's how the game is ran.
It's just sad to me, you know, just like steroids in men.
Yeah.
I mean, steroids is such a hard topic because it's like...
I have mixed feelings about it.
Are they selling
What do you think about steroids?
I mean, the reason why I didn't pursue... I went to school for kinesiology. And I did a specialization in strength and conditioning. And I, at that point, I was too naive to understand that steroids were a big part of the industry. And I thought that I could, you know, I was young. I thought I could look like these dudes. And I thought about competing, but then I realized that you really can't.
Not at the highest
levels. And I wanted to be the best I could be. Yeah. And I saw that it was fake, and it felt really fake to me. And so I started to realize that there was something deeper there. But for me, steroids, the question for me is, what is the psychology of someone who takes steroids? What are they thinking? Are they thinking like, I need to do this because I would need to look better for someone else? So women, so this,
why? Back to that little why.
That's the point.
Not the steroids I have an issue with. I have an issue why you're taking it. Because you might be taking that shit for no reason. Once you get what you thought you wanted, you realize you risk your health for nothing.
And yeah, I just kind of, you see people out there like the Sam Suliks who is like, are straight up on gear #1 on YouTube. Yeah, but like, then people are listening to him nutrition advice.
And he got,
and it's just fucking dumb. And you're just like, it sucks that
they tell you about the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
See how the game goes? Now, this is the whole of the world, right? Bodybuilding world, but it's still the same thing. Blind leading the blind. Someone out here giving nutrition advice to other people that may not be completely sound, but somebody gonna take it to heart because they admire this person's physique, and that's why they tell you about the idol worship. Worship is anything you put your energy to, period. Period. Going to the gym 5 days a week is a form of worship. It's like a form of prayer. Anything you put your energy to is a form of worship. That's why people like Michael Jordan are idols. There are people in high school right now getting up, hoping they can be in the pros. That's the only thing to keep them going to the school. They probably wouldn't even pass their grades if it wasn't for the hope of maybe hitting the draft. See how the game goes?
Mm-hmm.
Every world has idols, and you got to be careful about that because you might get these idols, I feel like we need idols, but make the mistake of let them dull your eye. People, wordplay, idol, because they'll dull your eye when you can't see through their flaws. See how the game goes?
Or you think they're perfect.
Yeah, so you see somebody, no disrespect to Sam Sulek. You see somebody like a Sam Sulek, and he's great physique, personality, whatever, but he might get some nutritional advice that may not be nutritionally sound.
Yeah, and I can give you an example. It
may not be backed by nutritional science, right? And they look up to this guy. They're not going to Google. They just say, oh, he said it. It must be, and that can be very dangerous.
Yeah, and to me, what I'm referring to, well, first off, let's hit that Bible verse that you're referring to. That's Matthew chapter 15, verse 14.
What does it say?
Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
See how that, notice, knowledge.
It's crazy.
See how, remember, no ledge? So you're following this person and you're not doing your due diligence to get your no before you walk this ledge. You just took this guy's word for it. I'm sorry.
That's everything. It's not just that, but yeah.
And that's very dangerous.
The Bible can do that too. And it's just like that archetype of someone who believes that's actually, there's different archetypal systems by Carl Jung.
Yeah.
And
I fuck with Carl Jung.
Yeah, and so one of those includes.
For the longest I would call him a Jung.
Dude.
Till I watched the video.
Oh my God.
Who the fuck is Jung? That's who the fuck I'm talking about. I would call him Jung.
Oh my God.
Because the first time I heard about him, I was just, skimming through some articles and stuff like that. I never saw a video about him.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck is Carl Jung? Is a basketball player?
No,
that's how you pronounce it. Okay, bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so
that was hilarious.
In his system, there's this idea of the everyman, which is the...
Notice the shadow.
Yeah. It's the idea that there's different...
Say it again. What were you saying?
It's called the everyman.
The everyman?
Yeah. It's just somebody that wants to fit in because they're insecure.
Bad.
That's why it's everyman. It's just like the normal. But then the part we're also getting to is like the shadow, the persona, the different aspects of ego that have to do with this. But I did want to get back to that point about Sam Sulek. Like, I wanted to give an example because I don't want to just give like baseless.
Man, please
things.
do, brother.
So one example is that talking about foods, not talking about how foods are not the same. Like the simple shit of like he eats like shit, and he's like, well, it's the same amount of calories, but then not talking about the seed oils. Not talking about these other things that affect your metabolism and affect your body that aren't supposed to go in there.
Wonder why? Too much on the macro. See, when you're thinking calories, protein, carbs, fats, that's the macro. Notice we have in the universe, we have a macrocosm and a microcosm. So for how big the vessel is going to be, how much space you take up, yes, the calorie amount. But when we talk about what charges your blood cells, what the vibration you can't see with your eyes, those fucking micro details matter. So you're thinking eating Cheerios, yes, to some degree, body composition wise, you'll get just as lean eating those shitty foods as long as the calories are in a deficit. But brother, there's minerals for a reason. You notice Jesus had 12 disciples, right? 12. There's 12 what? Cell salts. Peep the game. Notice 369, Tesla talking about the universe. Notice Omega, guys, the Alpha and Omega. We have Omega 369. See,
yo, that's nuts.
so everything down to nutritional science, down to physics, it's going to be numbers involved. So to take all doubt at your mind, because you can't trust man. That's so dangerous. You can't trust man. Just get you some hard numbers, because I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. When I had my awakening, it was very lonely, bro. I really saw with my own eyes, when shit gets really real, bro, a lot of people just, it's kind of almost every man for themselves, bro. That was very scary and very humbling for me when I had my awakening, bro. It really showed me how cruel the world can be. And protect your heart and your mind at all costs. Be careful of what you allow to be as truths. Just question everything. And if you believe something, have heart. That way you just never, there's nobody can ever make me doubt what I do, because I have numbers. And if anybody come fucking with me, I'm always, hey, let's talk. Because if I'm wrong, I want to know. Because remember, before the internet, there was the Ethernet. All these brains are all connected. So if I'm wrong, this motherfucker might be, that's why they tell you pride is number one. Humble myself, he's not fit, cool. Because further, you're fat, I don't want to hear what you got to say. I block my own blessing. That's how the game goes. You're fat, you don't got no money. I lost. Humble myself. This is just a messenger from the universe. See how the game goes? Let's talk. I might be, guess what? Even if he's wrong, I still gonna tell him something he needs to hear. See how the game goes? I'm gonna get rewarded regardless. You get rewarded for speaking the truth. So even if he thought coming here would humble me, it's funny. Some people are so lost, you could tell them the truth and they still won't take it, but you still did your part. Because my only job is to give you the truth, not make you take it. You know,
that's all you can do. Too.
Notice my favorite quote when he asked Peter, "You love me?" And he said, "Yes!" Even though he denied him.
Oh my God.
And he said, what did he say? If you love me, you'll do what? Feed my sheep. We're just talking about sheep earlier. God refers to his people as his lost sheep. That's why a female sheep is a ewe. Don't be fooled by that spelling. Notice feet, souls. Don't be fooled by that fucking spelling, souls. If the eye is if the eyes are the window to the soul, where's the foundation? The soles of your feet. When you are speaking that truth, you can feel that shit in your feet. Toes be twinkling. When you speaking that truth, you can feel that shit in your feet. I swear to God.
Yep.
Fuck, man, look, that shit. Because Plato, one of my favorite quotes by Plato is, false words affect the soul with evil. One of my favorite quotes. I don't take no for the goat. Platoism, people the isms. Are we talking about all true ism? Look at that Platoism, y'all. Go out and rabbit hole. And remember, I have a thing called take the meat and leave the bones. Just take the common denominators. You know, don't get too caught up in get those common denominators as hard numbers to keep it moving. Because all these people are doing is just explaining their way of explaining how this shit works. There's only one sun feeding this one earth, period. Now, there's different ways of expression, you know? Different ways to express. I have a saying, we all live on the same planet, but we don't all live in the same world. You feel me?
Yep.
Somebody like a LeBron James, I probably couldn't last a day in his world. Probably a second.
Do you want to, though?
I like my world. I like working out. You know, and to be real with you, I like genuine conversations. When I go out, bro, I don't even tell people what I do. I like just, hey, what do you do? You know, I like genuine conversation, genuine interaction. You know?
I feel like we would have had a very similar conversation if we weren't.
Yeah, I like genuine. Sometimes people come to me, they don't even know I work out. I mean, my bad. They don't even know what I do. I go to different gyms all the time. Mm-hmm. You would think man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm known, but I'm not like Chris Brown known. right? So I go to the gym and there's people who genuinely just walk up to me like, bro, you compete or anything? Bro, you look incredible. It makes me feel good because I know it's just not somebody who watches my videos telling me what they think I want to hear, right? It's a genuine compliment. You know, like, wow. And I tell them my age, 39. Oh, you 39? I'm like, oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about random stuff. Sometimes people have this, when they know what you do, they already have these expectations. And, you know, it puts a filter over the conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I like God. He wants those raw numbers. I'm the same way. I love raw numbers. You know, I like real interaction. You know, I like going when I go out, bro. I like going like everybody else. You know, so I like being LeBron James shoes. Absolutely, I wouldn't mind having his money though, because with his money, I could change some lives. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
With that money, I can have my own temple. Kind of like the Buddhists have their temple. I can only imagine, man, having a group of like-minded people, y'all waking up, meditating together, working out, eating healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with that kind of money, bro, I have my own dojo. But I like women though. I ain't just sitting with a whole bunch of
and be your own kind.
Yeah, but some place where us men can get together and keep each other accountable. Then we go back home to our families and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to live with a bunch of men meditating all day.
100%. I got you. Hey, they do it in monasteries, but I feel you.
That. Meditating all day, bowing at each other. No, women out. Nope. I feel like it's easy to be disciplined. Notice in some Buddhists, they don't even do all 7. They just start from chest up. Why? Because when you ain't doing no fucking, you ain't gotta think about the root chakra balance. It's balancing itself. So I commend you. But it's easy to balance that chakra if you ain't. I feel like a true master should be able to be around women and keep yourself balanced. You should shut women off. That's not true discipline. True discipline is being able to be around the people and not be compromised. And you people being with Jesus, the Pharisees like, why are you around these people? The people who sick need the healing. The people in the dark are the ones who need the truth. It's easy to shut yourself off from the world, hang around a bunch of men all day. No, true discipline is equipping yourself with this knowledge and being able to be around everyday people and still stay true to who you are.
Yeah, I see a bunch of bullshit online about people talking about, I can't be around certain types of people now that I've awakened.
You ain't no real master then. My bad.
Oh, you're good, bro.
Yeah, you ain't no.
If it doesn't stay, just let it fucking fall.
If it falls, would you leave it?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you hit this. Here, just put that on.
Bam, bam.
Yeah, bam. Okay, so
we good?
Yeah, we're good. Okay. What the fuck were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about, it isn't true mastery. I mean...
Yeah, it's not true mastery, bro.
I was never big on going to live in a monastery because I felt like I wanted to do it both. Yeah. I wanted to see... I think that's the next evolution of humanity. Not to have people that need to go off and live... I'm not disrespecting that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Everybody's path is
different path, right. But I feel like as we evolve, the people that are tapped into the metaphysical are going to need to be the everyday people, not just like the people that go off into the mountains. Like this knowledge, I think when we're talking about the yuga cycles, remember we mentioned those, as we ascend up the yuga cycles, ascend symbolism, right?
Yeah.
As we ascend up that part of the cycle, then it's not just going to be the people that have the knowledge are like hidden. And it's not just going to be only a few really know the truth. It's going to be everybody knows the truth. So that's going to require what you're saying, the discipline to go out into the field and be able to have one wife or, be with one person, commit instead of saying, we can't do it all. Now there's different reasons, there's different paths, but I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I believe true mastery, bro, is being able to, once you have your covenant, because everybody's different. You like stamps with hair cutting. Once you have your recipe, what keeps me whole, I know exactly how much training it's going to take to keep me whole, the kind of diet it's going to take to keep me together, the amount of how much meditation I need, how much me time I need, right? Keep those numbers intact. Some people get with a woman, they no longer have that me time. See, the recipe changes. They get with these new friends, the gym time shortens. And that's how everything works on a macro to a micro level. Once you get those numbers that you notice for keeping you whole and vibrating in that flow state, because some people are heading to freeze territory. They're headed to that 32 and below. Remember the numbers?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even know. That's why their mental health is so fucked up, because you're into that free, you're not in flow state no more. You've compromised so much of your core values. You've shortened yourself. You're no longer putting deposits into yourself. Even worse, you're making promises you're not keeping. Try not to make promises that you can't keep. If you're just sure, just say, hey, I think about it. Try not to make absolute promises that you have especially you have no intention. If you have no intention.
It's just people pleasing.
Yeah, to, because that's leakage, energy leakages.
Mm-hmm.
You tell somebody you're going to do something for them and you don't do it, that's dropping your credit score. That shit comes back. We're all connected to the universal consciousness, and the heart. It's tallying up the numbers. So try to keep, me personally, I'd be like, look, see what I can do for you. But if I give you my word, hey, I'm going to do this for you. If I don't, I'm going to have a damn good reason why.
Dreaming.
Because I'm going to have a damn good reason why. Because, bro, I'm starting to realize at the beginning was the word. That's crucial. Sometimes the beginning of a good friendship is just start keeping your word with each other and build from there. Because atoms want to bond. So if we're made up of a bunch of atoms, we're supposed to be bonding with other people, and you can build a bond or break, just like businesses. Businesses is just like a marriage. And what is a marriage? Let's break it down. That's why I like studying all these arts. Because I'm low key, bro. I just call it hippie shit. I've never been into science, but once I started realizing that's what speaking tongues really is. What does it make sense to just say a bunch of gibberish can't nobody else understand? You need to be able to speak other people's tongues, right? So I might talk to a guy, he might not know shit about bodybuilding, but he talks neuroscience. We can do that. And since everything works the same, just get the common denominators and piece it together. Mm-hmm. We start and we can start speaking each other's language. So that's why conversations like this is a must. This is to expand more awareness about this, because, bro, this honestly, I feel like it's a missing link to why people are out here struggling with anxiety, struggling with depression, because for one, you don't have no structure. I think we all, just like atoms. Atoms have a molecular structure. We need some kind of structure in our lives.
Mm-hmm. There's that symbolism again.
Yeah.
You hungry?
Yeah. Hey, let me real quick.
What's that?
Let me use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, sure. I think this is the most I've ever used my laptop.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but it's cool. I actually kind of like it.
First time,
I like it.
Don't make it the last. Where you live at?
Where do I live?
Yeah, where you live now?
Right now I'm moving across the country.
Where you moving to?
So I live nomadically.
You used to, kind of like traveling?
Yeah, I get Airbnbs each month, wherever the fuck I want, really. So.
Bro, low key. Christ, Jesus was doing that. Bro.
Yeah.
And it's funny, in the Masons, they have a word called, you're a traveling man. Peep the fucking game.
That's kind of what it is, though.
Fucking game. So where you plan on going to?
Sedona.
Where's that at?
Arizona.
Okay. So you're going back to Arizona. You used to live at, didn't you already?
Yeah.
You are, okay.
Yeah.
You're going back there.
Yeah.
I heard very spiritual out there.
Sedona is one of the top spiritual places in the States. Dude, you got to come out there. Have you seen pictures of it? Do you know what it looks like?
Oh, I've seen the Grand Canyon pictures.
The Grand Canyon.
Oh, shit.
Did you knock something?
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, what is this?
That's your mic in there, yeah? Oh, the fuck, you got both mics. How the fuck? Oh, shit, that was supposed to be.
Yeah, it came off this.
Yeah, so instead of wearing it, because I'm pretty close with mine, because you have yours in your shirt, I just put it on there.
Okay.
That's what that is, if you're wondering.
Okay.
This is what it looks like. I just want to show you a picture. It's Red Rock.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that.
Where's that? Where's
That's
that?
Sedona.
Okay,
That's Sedona.
damn.
Yeah. Oh shit. There's newsletter shit on the screen, but yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
It's the most beautiful place I've ever been in the United
Really?
States. And so yeah, I'm on my way there. I have an Airbnb for June, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay. I'm pretty sure, but I'm looking for housing, and housing is kind of difficult there. But yeah. And you've been here in
I'm from a little town called DeSoto,
okay.
about 45 minutes from here. But yeah, for the most part, I've been in Texas all my life.
Oh wow, shit. Okay.
And I've traveled, due to fitness,
I saw you just went on vacation.
and I don't think there's any place like Texas.
Yeah.
I like Texas.
Are you gonna stay here?
I wouldn't mind having some places in other states or other countries because you never know, but this country's headed, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having a little getaway spot out the country in the future.
I thought the same.
Because you never know. We just talked about civilizations making it. That's what we got way off topic with the Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Bro, prophet of the whole point I'm trying to make was the weeping prophet. Already tried to warn them. With the same, the vessels are going to be expressed through different bodies, giving you the same message. They might give you they might say it a different way. Like I said, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. Right? Yeah. Somebody might say 2 ears, 1 mouth.
It's the same shit though.
Right? So that's the point I'll make with the whole Jeremiah thing. The point I'm trying to make is, bro, I'm seeing the same patterns, bro. Like I'm a numbers guy, fam.
Mm-hmm.
This country, let's just say, bro, hopefully we'll see. Just, at the end of the day, they got a Declaration of Independence and it's point blank, period. There's names signed. That's a ritual. Honor what it says, point blank fucking period. And we gotta find some kind of middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like we just said about how people choose what goes in and out these pages. Bro, people choose what goes in and out these fucking laws. Peep the game, bro. So I don't put my faith in man. I believe put my faith in God and focusing on the numbers that God showed me. And we'll see. I feel like if anybody's financially able, though, if you're financially, because that's what I think about this. So many people these days are paycheck to paycheck. Again, that's why I don't like a lot of these people giving so many advices to the common people. I'm still tapped in with everyday people. I feel like a lot of these influencers, they hang around their rich buddies, or just people they see on.
They're in bubbles.
They don't have that they're not in that groundwork. I'm still having everyday conversations with everyday fucking people. When I go have a drink at the bar, I don't be like, I'm Chris Jones. Because I like genuine conversations.
Yep.
And bro, people are out here, bro. So many people out here paycheck to paycheck. People, and then it takes discipline to save. Like diet is just in a form of it's energy, right? So essentially everything we do is diet. Budgeting money is another form of diet. If you want money in your account, you want your shit to be in a surplus, well, you got to make more than you spend. That's just a simple way. But if you're a real energy manifestor type of guy, right, you understand how transmute energy, right? That kind of like you directing traffic. You understand the science of money, how it's like you plant a seed into a ground. You can invest into a stock in one day. Maybe not just a tree might take 10, 20 years, right? This business might be feeding your family 20. See, some people don't think like that. It's a different type of tree. The physical world shows you how it works physically, but digitally it works the same way. And I feel like some people doing the game dirty by selling people lies and false hopes and unrealistic goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that. Dude, this is a rabbit hole because I don't think it's just about budgeting. It's also about something that I think a lot of people don't understand. This has been my experience.
Yeah.
When I'm living at my highest potential, I always have more than enough.
Yeah.
But metaphysically, if I know that I'm not doing the things that I really am meant to be doing, my life goes to shit.
Ooh.
And it's not, people think probability, people think practicality, but there's something about the deep essence of your soul. If you can express that and create from that place, you get provided for on another level. And you're talking about the armor of God. There is something to be said about the armor of stepping into your highest potential, and you can say that's the armor of God.
I love how you just said that, brother. But keep going.
No.
To me.
Hit it.
Well, the full armor of God, and then if you're familiar with the Gnostics, the books that didn't make the official cut,
The Gnostic text,
the
yes.
Nag
Hammadi, yep.
Nag Hammadi scriptures. The phone that was it after in Egypt. Long story short, like a lot of law of attraction stuff,
Mhm.
the Gnostics, the Gnostic Christians were already talking about that in a different way. And how you just say put on the full armor of God, that's actually in the King James Bible, but the Gnostics would call put on the perfect man.
Put on the perfect
Put
man.
on the perfect man. It's in a Gnostic scripture. One of the disciples mentioned putting on the perfect man. See, it takes the discipline to be at your absolute crispiness self, I like put on the full armor of God. Either way is fine, but notice how the Gnostics put on the perfect man. That's more self accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're talking about Saint Arius in the Council of Nicaea debate. I like the common middle ground. 'Cause I feel like faith without works is dead. As clearly says in the book, it takes some level of work with your faith to be at your best. Sitting on some couch, manifesting some shit to you, good luck.
It's part of it, but it's only one part of the equation.
So many parts to this,
Exactly.
Yeah, so depending on some people's purposes, it requires a level 2 discipline to accomplish. If the higher your purpose, it might require a version of you. Because keep in mind, you get the reality you deserve, right? You attract who you are. So unless you want to be in an anti-matter, anti-Christ scenario where you're building your reality on a bunch of bullshit and eventually it's going to come to an end, right? Your expiration date's going to come up. That's what I get from the whole notice in science, anti-matter. Those have the anti-Christ. Christ is truth. So anti-Christ is just anti-truth. Like we're just talking about attaching the name to Jesus. No, Jesus for me is the prime example of what it means to be Christ consciousness. But at the end of the day, spirit is truth. Anti-Christ is anti-truth. So you build your reality on a bunch of lies, like you were just saying, working a job that pays, but you're not. If it doesn't feel purposeful, that's only gonna last so long. Yes, it's paying the bills, it's keeping the kids fed, but if you're not feeling purposeful, your motivation is gonna drop one day. Or worse,
it's already dropped.
Or worse, you're still at it, but it's eating. It's not recharging you. Your life is kind of draining you. It's not recharging you. I think some people are not honest with their life they're living. Some people are like, man, my life is kind of draining me. And it's okay to say, hey, this is where I'm at right now. But with the right plan, because it's all about progress. Notice, be fruitful. It always stuck with me. There's many ways to be fruitful, not just going around here having a bunch of fucking kids. The word fruitful, produce. Just like Jesus when he cursed that tree for not having fruits.
Mm-hmm.
It's different ways to be fruitful, not just having church is just one way to be. Fruitful means to me productivity. You want to see some kind of progress, even if it's small. Not just working out, like, okay, I've seen him, but just some kind of progress anywhere you can measure, whether it's my income increased a little bit, or man, I'm starting to hear my woman laugh and smile more. My kids, they want to hang with me more. Like you start seeing patterns that you can actually measure. That's what take home message for me when I hear the word fruitful means produce. We go to the grocery store, the fruits are in the produce section, and you can't have produce without productivity, without a system that's working. You harvest when it's harvest season because your system was effective. And we like progress. I always wondered why, looking back, the most times I struggled the most was when I wasn't seeing no damn progress. Somewhere. It doesn't even have to be working out. That's just one of many. These bodies are temporary anyway, So find somewhere where you're seeing progress. That's the number one goal is going to keep you feeling purposeful. They say, what's purpose? purpose is seeing some progress. Point blank, period. I've heard so many people try to explain what is purpose. I had to get down to the single digit root. Remember the casting the net to the right. 153, fuck all that. 1 plus 5 is 9. 1 plus 5 plus 3 is 9. Get down to the single digit root. Remember vortex math, single digit root. So get down to the single digit root. Purpose is progress. Progress. Notice, they say be upright. Sacred geometry. Upright. That's a right angle. See how the game goes? Upright. That's a right angle. See, that wordplay. That's why I'm so big on using specific words, because wording is huge. Because you can use a certain kind of word and you ain't got to give a motherfucker 10 paragraphs. I say be upright. I just told you 10 messages in that one sentence. And then you study geometry. Upright. That's a right angle. We know light hits a 90-degree angle, right? It makes sense.
Not according to Terrence Howard.
Oh, right? Yeah.
That shit don't go Euclidean math. Fuck that. That's what he said.
Terrence, bro. Again.
He could be right.
Hey, question everything.
Yeah.
I still have questions about what's in space, low key, bro. Low key, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a flat earther or nothing like that. But bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Dude, it's pissed a lot of people off.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
What do you mean you're not a flat earther?
Bro. I need to see more stats, bro. I've had it hard to even the moon landing just a little suspect at this point. At this point, we should have like some kind of tours. I can pay $1,000 and get flown to the moon and back by now.
$1,000 only? Man,
it
cost me $1,000 to go to Mexico. What do you mean?
Affordable little shuttles where we can go moon tours. Right?
At this point.
Bro.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years.
Come on, fam. We seen cell phones used to be like this. Right?
Yeah.
Come on, really? What do y'all keeping from us? Like this, I need to see something.
What are they? What do you think?
Man, bro, because I want people. Because when you say shit, see, I don't want to say shit.
Come on, say it.
I'm classified as crazy.
Say it with your chest.
No, you got it.
Dude, you gotta let them know. Give me your Eddie Bravo, dude. Come on.
Everything I say goes right out the window.
With this clip.
Now people are questioning my diet advice.
That's about how it goes.
2 eyes, 1 mouth for a reason.
All right, bro. You don't gotta say. It's all good.
I'm questioning everything, fam.
I respect that. I also do the same thing.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, I get it. You never know. It is an interesting story. It is. They're making movies about it.
Elon said, "What happened to Mars? What happened to Elon? Want people to have some kind of space trips, tours for people? Like, come on, fam. What's going on out here, bro? If you I had that kind of money, bro, low key, bro, I want to show y'all some shit.
Well, hey,
that's what it makes me question some of these. It makes me question. It just makes me question some of these people. Like, bro, if you really got it like that, bro, this shit's temporary anyway. Use some of that money to show us something. That's just how I see it.
I mean, dude, I'll tell you how I feel about it. I mean, I ain't afraid.
Go ahead.
I'll say it with my chest.
Go ahead.
That's right.
Please, share.
Okay, so, I mean, I think it's just like a boundary thing. I think I don't know about like the moon, all that, the landing. I think that whether or not we had the technology, whether or not it happened, it's not actually what I'm getting at. I think it's more, there's a boundary of how are we allowed to get out until we reach a certain threshold of consciousness.
Wow, bro. It's
not a matter of can we or can we not. Is there other games or not?
It reminds me of Flash. You familiar with Flash?
Yeah.
You vibrate fast enough, you can go through anything. I believe, you reach a certain vibration, you ascend to that level. Kind of like reaching the Hall of Fame, kind of like Hollywood. They have the stars on the street. I feel like it works differently. We're so focused on these celebrities. That idea came from somewhere. We have our own star up there, bro. I believe we have our own star, and to some degree, you got to reach a certain level to even to ascend. Can we reach space physically in a ship? I haven't seen hard proof yet. Period.
Right.
I haven't seen hard proof.
But it doesn't mean it's not possible.
I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Right.
I'm just saying I haven't seen enough proof to where there's not enough doubts. You know, my shit can be, my beliefs can change tomorrow if I see enough, you know, facts one way or facts another. I can't say with 100% confidence that we for sure went to the moon.
That's why I don't get people.
You know,
people
I can't
that
say
are
with
saying,
100% confidence. That is it possible we went? Absolutely. But can I say, gun in my head, did we go to the moon? I can't say for sure. And I haven't seen enough hard facts by the numbers proving that and I have seen things that increased doubt. That's for a courtroom. Notice the courtroom, if you can commit a murder and win if you can put enough doubt. Notice the OJ. Peep the game. Crucial. Ice cold game, study that if you study that, if you study the whole OJ Simpson case trial, you know, if you could create enough doubt, I'm not saying OJ did it or didn't do it, but what I'm saying is you can commit a fucking crime. You can increase enough doubt and get off. You know? So that's how it's perfectly natural. Notice the doubting Thomas. The doubt went out his mind when he saw for himself the piercings through the hands. It's perfectly natural to have your doubts, and you be a damn fool to not. Because God gives us numbers we can't deny. Once I get the numbers I can't deny, then my doubts are gone. I haven't seen numbers that I can't deny yet. That we've truly been to the moon and all this shit. Could we have been? Yes. Could it be made up? Yes. I'm not willing to put my soul on the line because I believe we put our souls on the line when we speak absolutes.
When we know the truth.
Yeah, so I don't know if we win or not. I have not seen enough evidence to say we have. I don't want to hear Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't want to hear any of this.
Yeah.
Call me what you want. Call me crazy, but you know that's how deeply I respect this game. I respect the game to the point where I'm not willing to put my tongue, attach my shit to anything that I don't feel confident in with numbers. That's how serious I take this game. I take this game that serious.
Speaking of serious, what do you think about the pineal gland?
Yeah, it's the seat of the soul. Remember Rene Descartes, French philosopher. He said it back in the day. He said, "I think, therefore I am." Peep the game. I think, therefore I am. And he was in the numbers. I believe he was a mathematician as well. See how the game goes?
Did you ever think it could be I am, therefore I think?
I am, therefore I think?
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
Think about it. The I am, if God is I am,
yeah,
wouldn't that come before thinking? Because that's what it says in the Bible. At least if you're taking an interpretation. Or if you say I am, it's not just in the Bible, but across many different religions, there's the Brahman in the Hindus.
Yeah.
And this idea that consciousness, the fundamental nature of it is I am.
Yeah.
And so it is existence itself. So maybe it might actually be I am, therefore I think.
I am, therefore I think. And think about it like this. They say at the beginning was the word, right?
Yeah.
Before a word, I'm assuming you thought, right?
Something had to think.
Right?
Or,
I'm assuming before you said anything, you put some thought into it. So absolutely, you know, I agree with that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyways. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But yeah, Rene Descartes said it's
Yeah.
the seat of the soul, you know. One of his books I got at the house, The Passions of the Soul, you know. So yeah, it's definitely the pineal gland, bro. But I feel like this is an over fascination. I don't think people truly understand what they mean because I think because I don't. People just throw that word around.
Yeah, so everybody talking about it. But what's the deeper part of the pineal that you think people are missing?
Well, the pineal gland is what's going to help you get it's pretty much it's going to link you in with your spiritual sight. See, we have the 5 senses, right? That's going to help us navigate through the physical world. But you got to have some mastery over those senses to even get to the 6th. Some people can't even stop going to a drive-through window for a week. Just 1 week. I'm not saying give up forever. Okay?
That's my dad.
Right?
That's my dad, 100%.
Just can't go 1 week. And if you can't do that, you should not be opening your pineal gland because you can't even master that. You know, because what the spiritual side does, you're being attacked from so many angles. it's your spiritual sight. So just like the five senses are used for the physical, now you have this metaphysical layer now. And I don't think people understand what they're asking for when they're trying to say, I want to open my third eye. I believe, this is my opinion, it's something you should ease into, not rush. Cause I believe it's our spiritual birthright to have our eye open. Jesus clearly says the eye is the lamp of the body. You want your eye clear. But I think people don't also realize the world has done a very good job at poisoning us. Not just food. We're not gonna get to that. But like as far as media, beliefs, music, commercials. So you might have so many things. I won't use that word wrong with you, but you might have so many defects in your thinking. Because remember, the brain's a computer. You might have so many viruses in your computer that you aren't even aware of, and now you want to add an extra layer on top of that. I think you get some kind of idea of who you are first, but then the third eye shit's gonna come natural to you. The third eye shit comes natural to you when you fully have some mastery of the physical. Because again, when your third eye opens, fam, it's gonna help you with your spiritual sight. So it's gonna help you see numbers that the other regular person might not. Just body.
More than the 1% that you're talking about.
Yeah,
just talking about
because we know the brain and body is connected as one. So essentially, every part of your body is connected to the brain. So somebody with poor posture, we know body language is a real thing now. That says a lot about the personality. Let's just say that third eye, you know how the Terminator movie, that's how the third eye works. It's going to calculate, poor posture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are ready for it. You don't even know the fuck you are. Remember, Jesus said, put a speck at your eye. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, let me tell you, you need to be on point with who you are first. When you fully know you, knowing others come naturally. That's why Jesus knew somebody's gonna betray me 3 times. He knew somebody's gonna turn me in. He knew, because when you know your purpose, you know the odds. What are the odds? 1 in a million. You know numbers. 1 in a million, 1 in a billion. And then you know what you're going up against, what spiritual, you know what tests are coming. See, notice so many celebrities, they walk into traps. They walk into these, I don't want to call them sacrifices, but it is what it is. People are spiritually being led to their own death. They're being led to becoming a prime example for people like me to learn from and take the notes from. And Jesus, what he did was he walked himself into it so you can know exactly how it works, so you can peep the game. He purposely walked. Some people spiritually just are led into these type of traps. No shit, you're fucking selling drugs. You should know at some point soul is gonna turn you in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Because when you're doing something illegal, there's an energy working against you every fucking day. So this, I'm using this as an example. This drug dealer, he should already be having some kind of escape plan. Instead, he's just gonna continue to do this until he gets caught or killed. You see how the game goes? What somebody with a higher mind, not condoning drug selling, by the way, but someone with a higher mind will realize, hey, I'm doing something illegal, right? I'm by the grace of the universe, I'm getting away with it this long. Let me go ahead and get this retirement plan going. Let me get something going. Instead of just riding this shit out, eventually maybe somebody in your circle gets pulled over, and instead of doing his time, see, they use the weak link. Instead of doing his time, guess what? I'll tell you somebody, right? Or even worse, he gets into it with a girl, right? He cheats on his girlfriend. It's always it's like gas, right? Let's say somebody put poisonous gas in his hotel. It's gonna fit through the vents. It's gonna wiggle its way to us, unless we got an air bubble system up in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's what that poisonous gas is just gonna find its way to you somehow, the weakest link wherever it can get you, you know. So if someone knows they're doing something illegal or wrong, knowing, and you're still making it, shit, have you start working on your escape plan. This is energy. This is not my opinion. This is energy. Because at some point, the shit's coming to an end. That's how universal law works. You know what I mean? So the point I'm making, Jesus pretty much, though, I can go on and on. Master, teacher, and if you peep the game, I'm not even gonna get into the books that didn't make it. You know, just off the books that were approved. So much game that can benefit anybody. No matter what path you're on. No matter what path you're on, conscious awareness can benefit anyone.
I got one final question.
But the pineal gland, that pineal gland, bro, like I said, it's the link between the physical and the spiritual.
Yeah.
It's that link between like we just taught, John 3:12. Get these earthly things first. People trying to understand. Remember, less than 1% of what we see here. At least get, because once you try to get to the 99s, bro, I'm telling you, the shit almost fucked me up. You know, when I talk about this pineal gland shit, this is coming from a loving place. This is coming from love. Don't be in a rush to that. I almost lost my fucking life, low key. Yeah, but take your time. Go ahead with this. What were you saying about the?
No, I mean, I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, because we talk about the Andrew Huberman shit.
Yeah.
Andrew Huberman.
Yeah.
Look, like it or not, maybe he's not aware. That's one thing about. That's why I can't judge, because maybe he's not aware. You see how the game goes?
I mean, that's about how. Yeah.
He might not be aware of what he did. I'm sure. I'm hoping he.
Maybe
I'm hoping
not.
he didn't wake up and say, "Yeah, I will send people." So Lex Luthor, evil, diabolical, trying to fuck people's heads up. I don't think he had intent, but that's not my problem. As a PhD, right? Someone with high influence, with millions of eyes on you, it's your responsibility to put out information and understand what you put out is going to affect a lot of households. People's fathers, people's brothers, people's sisters.
So what do you think Huberman did wrong? He
told the benefits of psychedelics, but not give you the potential risk. You familiar with Connor Murphy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fitness influencer. That's just a prime example. See, notice in math, prime numbers. Connor Murphy. No disrespect to Connor Murphy, because he's one of my brothers. Prime example of what can happen when you fuck with these psychedelics and these spirits are just guiding you all over the place.
What happened? I don't even know.
Well, long story short, Connor Murphy, and he's somebody who kind of built his physique off of steroids as well. He came out and admitted that, by the way. He built his physique off of steroids. So when we talk about the insecurities, see, so he's already battling insecurities and, using social media. See, what social media does is it can make you distracted but not healing, not growing. Even myself, I spent a good chunk of my life entertaining people. 8 years straight on YouTube, just being here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, posting videos, not even tending to my personal needs, not tending to my mental health. Low key, not even spending as much time with family members as I possibly should, and I have no regrets, by the way. But what I'm saying is, what were we at? Yeah, Hank, I want to go on topic, because this is very important. The Andrew Huberman shit. But what I'm saying is, because I want to get away, because this is very important to me, so I want to stay on topic, That Andrew Huberman thing, he's not giving the potential risks that could come with opening your mind. Because what these things do is, remember, it can open. If you can drink alcohol, they call alcohol spirits for a reason. What do you think of if you really peep the game with the book of Genesis, peep the game. Fuck calling it the fruit of knowledge, just call it what it is. That's a psychedelic. Anything you can ingest and it alters your state of consciousness is a psychedelic. That tree of knowledge, you can call it whatever you want to call it. That's technically a psychedelic. It altered their state of consciousness. You see? And so this is like deep. You pretty much you pretty much did serpent work. You're telling the world about these psychedelics, giving them all the pros, and there are some pros, but you got to give the risk too. Just like if I tell somebody, hey man, going out for a drink with your buddy is a good time. You need to have that, right? But also maybe get an Uber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drink responsibly. Look at this family of 5 who just got killed by this drunk driver. Put the stories, the prime examples. Give people both sides of how a night out drinking can be good, but it can be a tragedy as well. That's what you do when you promote psychedelics and not give both sides. Look at this guy. This guy was suicidal after trying these psychedelics, right? Look at this guy. He went crazy. He went through the rabbit hole and never came back. He went through a midlife crisis. So when you open your pineal gland, just like I was saying, you can be driving in your car on a diet and there's voices in your head saying, man, go have a cheat meal. You deserve it. Fuck you. Summer's too close for this bullshit. And you just keep driving. Nobody saw that inner battle, but and it makes you feel good you won. Let me tell you, that's a test, fam. That heart's going to start glowing. That personal relationship with yourself is how you tap in. Nobody sees those inner battles. That war within is an everyday struggle. But you add way more voices in your head when you tap into your third eye prematurely. Man, this the wife you want? Is the career you want? Man, you might be a little gay. Man, you might be a little gay. Come out the closet, man. Man, put on this dress. 20 years old.
Oh my God.
No disrespect, I'm just saying. No disrespect to the LGBT community.
Yeah, you might be, which
I'm
is
just
fine.
saying,
But is that too much to handle on top of everything?
You have all these voices hitting you at once, and you assume, this is me, because they're coming from in you. No, that's frequency. It's kind of like when Jesus said, come with me, I do what? I will make you the fishers of men. That's how all idols and spirits work, not just Jesus. Jesus is the prime example of what it means to be Christ conscious. But there's several gods. There's several spirits. There's several idols. And they're constantly fishing, hoping you bite. So all these voices in your head, all it takes is your heart to believe it. Remember, as a man thinking in his what? Heart. Therefore, I say protect your heart. Because when you believe it, now you created a vibration. When the brain and heart come together, remember the heart sends more energy to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. When you believe that shit, and now your cells are vibrating, you're looking in the mirror, it ain't matching what you believe. Man, I'm supposed to be rich. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
So this third eye shit, fam, is dangerous. First, get some idea who you are first. Let me tell you something. When I had my third eye popped open, I tried psychedelics once. I had my third eye opened, and let me tell you, I was flooded with voices. I was on the spiritual demonic attack. The spirit of Christ literally saved my ass. That's why I'm so passionate about this. I was suicidal, fam. One of my favorite verses in the Bible, I believe, is like, if you commit adultery in your head, I don't want to butcher this verse, but long story short, pretty much, if you have these sexual thoughts in your heart, you pretty much committed it, Pull that verse, because I don't want to butcher it, bro. I don't want to butcher. I want to hear it.
Matthew 5.
Yeah, say that shit right, please. I don't want to disrespect Matthew. Shout out to Matthew.
Chapter 5.
Don't want to disrespect Matthew.
Verse 28. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already.
Because let me tell you something. Heart. Once you think about it, and the brain, it will give you the steps to make it happen. So I was literally planning a suicide in my head. And God stopped me. You understand, pal? Because I'm the type of guy, I love numbers. It was giving me how my family feel, blah, blah, blah. What's the point? I'm trying to find a reason to stay. What's keeping me here? And Jesus, the Spirit of Christ, had to save my ass. And then spoke to me in a language I understood, because all I've ever gave a fuck about was bodybuilding. Thank God, because you have to master something so it can speak to you on that deep level you can feel. explained, hey, this has weight, blah, blah, blah. And it explained everything in bodybuilding. And it hit me. Jesus picked fishermen because they mastered something. Oh, he picked the tax collector because he mastered something. You have to pick people that have done something and are good at it. And you can teach them in a language they understand. That's why I believe don't rush to that third eye shit. Because the only thing that saved my ass is because I mastered bodybuilding. Jesus explained to me why I was in that dark place. It explains soul contracts. It explained how to get weight off of me. It explained karma. It explained the power of the tongue, the weight of words, forgiveness.
Now, is this the consciousness level, or are you talking about being like you had an experience with Jesus himself?
Well, it's spirit because
Okay.
it enters the body and speaks through the heart.
Okay.
Like a phone call. You know how I said having that conversation with yourself while driving the car? Let's just say, that's why they say Jesus, the voice will sound of many waters. It vibrates. You not only hear the voice, but you feel the voice. And it was telling me everything. That's why I say, I can say, because low key, it's like, it's backed by quantum physics. You know, there's a plan for a plan for a plan for a plan for a plan. You choose which path you go. We can leave here and get sushi, or we can leave here and get steak. Either way, there's a plan and something's gonna be done. It's already pre-done. We either gonna check reality A through Z. Or say, fuck it, no food at all. There's a plan for that.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever I did, I must have made it to that specific plan, and it just gave me downloads after downloads after downloads.
And so, do you feel like it wasn't until that moment where you were broken down enough to open up? What do you feel like that was?
I had to humble myself. That's why I tell you to stay humble. So I'm seeing so many influencers saying, fuck humble. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you choose to read it, because that's one way to look at it. But if you look at etymology, remember the garden has roots. What else has roots? Words. Etymology, the root meaning of humble is humus, which means ground. Get grounded. See, if you're not grounded, that's why I gotta get back up grounded. Because you start hearing that inner voice. You know what I mean? And then, it's like the whole drug dealer situation. Humble yourself to know you're not above the rules, bro. It's gonna come to an end. You have your faith in God. Numbers. You know what's coming. Plan your way out. You know, so numbers. You know, so grounding means staying grounded. Notice when I'm familiar with St. Peter, he got crucified upside down. Head to the ground. Get the numbers. Grounded. See, when you start thinking you're above the rules, you start thinking you're God himself, you might overlook them little details. You're going to have your Samson moment or your Achilles moment, right? Because you thought you're above the rules. You're above the universal laws. Understand, it's all numbers, you know? And so when I hear the word humble, it's just a reminder, stay grounded, you know, connected to that inner voice. There's a frequency. Some days that voice is very light. And then some days it's very loud. I want that voice loud and proud. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I can't do this alone. You know, I'm not going to lie to you, you know, and I consider myself very disciplined, but I understand the kind of purpose that I want, the kind of people I want to help. Because keep in mind, all spirits want to eat. You know, all spirits want to eat. You know, for you to be a light for others, it requires a huge level of discipline. You know, so like I said, I want to be a Christ. I want to reach Christ consciousness one day. People just throw that word around. I truly want to reach that level. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not there yet. But I'm working on it. I ain't there yet, I'm working on it. It takes a level. You think getting in shape is tough? Oh no. That's why these monks stay away from the women. Mm-hmm. Bro, it takes discipline to be out here with everybody else. It takes discipline for somebody talking shit to you and you just let that shit slide. You know, it takes discipline to hear somebody say some shit that ain't even fucking true and you just let them talk. Not feel the need to correct everybody. It takes self-discipline, you know, and when people that term Christ consciousness is just thrown around so loosely. That word third eye is just thrown around so loosely. I don't think people understand what they're asking for. But let me tell you, fam, if that shit can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. You know, if that shit can happen to me, I consider myself a headstrong guy. You know, I don't know if you noticed about me. I went to prison. I did 4 years in prison, fam. So, and let me tell you, that time in prison was nothing compared to what the psychedelics did to me. You know, so people should think about that before they start playing with these psychedelics like that. I'm not saying don't do psychedelics. I'm not saying to do psychedelics. What I am saying is there's a spectrum. Understand the benefits, understand the risks, and then make your decision. But if somebody's just telling you all good, that's steering you. Peep the game. The body's a vehicle, right? We have free will. Notice the will. People focus on W-I-L-L. No, will. And that will is invisible. Remember, head. You see how the game goes? And if you look at the Michelangelo picture, notice the God, Adam and God, but all those heads. Just imagine you trying to go somewhere and you got all these heads trying to steer you. It should be you and the Most High. All these other heads, if anything, they should be helping me, not pulling me away, trying to have all those other voices aligned. You got to tame your demons. You got to tame your beast, not run from them. If you're insecure, steroids ain't going to help. All you're doing is just put the Band-Aid over it because eventually you're going to have to face that demon.
That you might be too big now.
Yeah. So it's back to the whole steroid thing. You know, steroids is, we won't stay on topic though. The Andrew Hubert. Yeah, but like I said, that's my only issue with. That's my only gripe. Promoting psychedelics, using your science. Brother, there are so many horror stories I could give you.
I did a whole podcast on those.
Brother.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me that dealt with this. I felt weird talking about it out loud. But God put it on my heart to get on Mark Bell's podcast and share my struggles. And I went to some other podcasts and shared. And you wouldn't believe how many people told me, wow, I thought it was just me, because so many people have been telling me that psychedelics have helped them. I thought it was just, no, brother, you're not alone. This shit almost fucked me up. But let me tell you, the teaching of Jesus Christ pulled me out, brother. You know, so if you're somebody that's struggling, just understand even the mind is energy based. Notice just thoughts alone creates brain waves. Wave patterns, that's movement. That's energy. Even your thoughts alone is energy. Remember the mind. So if any kind of imbalances, just like you have an imbalances in your physique, there's imbalances in your mind, imbalances in your vibration, your mood, your spiritual level. There's a reason for that. And we can definitely get to the bottom of that. But it takes a level of honesty and opening up that, I'm not going to lie, everybody don't have, because one, we don't have people we can confide in. So many people don't have friends that can confide in, that really want to see them win. You got so many people competing with their own damn friends. You know, and then they want to use your secrets and and things you're not proud of against you when they're mad. That's why I pay for psychiatrists. But a lot of psychiatrists aren't spiritual. They go give you some shit they read in no damn book. You see how the game goes? So it's like, damn, bro. That's why I'm like doing shit like this. Maybe we can just connect with each other and meet other people, and we have our own network. You see? Mm-hmm. Because low key, I don't feel like I fit in. You know, I don't feel like I fit in, because to get real healing, bro, it takes real open, honest conversations like this, and some people just aren't ready for that, and it's okay. That's why people like myself are here. I can share my struggles. I don't give a fuck what somebody think about me. I don't give a fuck what nobody think about me. Think what the fuck you want to think about me, you know? If my story can help just one damn person, man, cool, bro. Because let me tell you, I was searching high and far for videos to help me. I couldn't find shit. And that's when all hope got lost. I couldn't find shit online to help me, to pull me out. And that's when that's my brain. I couldn't find no numbers to hold on to. I just lost fucking hope, bro. I don't want that for nobody. I don't want that shit that's some scary shit, bro. I got a fucking daughter. I didn't even give a fuck. When you're darkened, your soul's, you don't feel connected to your soul no more. You ain't vibrating no more. You feel dead inside. You don't even give a fuck. I didn't even give a fuck. And those teachings brought me back. And once I feel my soul glowing again, bro, I never want to let that go. And I thought that once you start, and then you start reading these books, the words hit different now. Like you just said, the eyes lamp of the body. Somebody says, oh, eye lamp of the body. But when you tap in, you start seeing pineal gland. You start seeing all these other disciplines. Piccolo, Piccolo, special beam cannon. Yeah. It's all that shit. And each one of them, different art forms saying the same thing. That's how, just reading that one verse, the eyes lamp of the body. Just imagine so many other verses you having spiritual experiences as you're reading those verses. The teachings of Christ are powerful, fam.
I think this is what true philosophers did and do, even today, is their ability to not trust one source as ultimate truth, but rather to see the truth in all the different sources in which it comes. I think that's really what you're saying, you know?
Yeah, brother.
It's key.
What are your thoughts on psychedelics, personally? Have you ever tried them?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on them? I did LSD one fucking time, and I'm still growing from that one experience. People asking me, you try this? Try it? I'm like, bro, I'm still growing from the... It's how some people I feel use psychedelics as a way to escape the drug habits. You have a drug problem. You have a goddamn drug problem. Because why you got to keep taking this shit? Like, you can't, because let me tell you, you hit that, bro. Each time you do it, you should be, I've only done LSD once. Mm-hmm. I just feel like, just like with the whole steroids thing, you're going to do it, ask yourself, why am I doing it? Because sometimes it could just be, like the whole Book of Job and Adam and Eve thing. You might think this is another situation. No, this is another drug habit situation. See how the game goes? Numbers. Mm-hmm. You think it's a different situation. Oh, it's steroids, crack, LSD. No, it's still, you have a different personality. And
people looking to escape.
Yeah, because again, I feel like they can help people, but again, if you abuse them, they're gonna abuse you. So what did you get out of it? What did you experience?
I took edibles and I couldn't breathe.
What kind? Wait, like shroom edibles? What were they?
No, weed.
Oh, so that's not. I don't consider that more of a psychedelic, even though it can have when I say psychedelic, I'm thinking DMT, I'm thinking ayahuasca, I'm thinking LSD, I'm thinking shrooms.
I've had shrooms.
What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't take a super high dose, but it was. I think I've had a lot of opportunities. I'm at the point where I had a subjective experience that was of like euphoria. It wasn't really a good or bad. I just felt like I saw the tediousness of life, I guess you could say, but it wasn't really a high dose. And so I was always very weary of taking high doses because I'd heard so many horror stories from not only my close friends, but many others. And so I've had many times opportunities to do ayahuasca and other things. But if I know the risks already, why am I going to do it? Yeah. There's that part of me that's like, I just got to try it to see what it's like. But it's like, do I want to fuck myself up for the rest of my life potentially? And so that's where I'm at. Yeah. It's like, I haven't really done a lot. I have, like I said, done a couple different, but it almost seems as though I want to do what you were talking about earlier, which is learn from the mistakes of other people.
Man, the best game you're gonna get is patterns the universe have already given you. It's like prime examples of what the universe. That way, man, some of the best games. Some of them, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, but bro, I probably made way more if it wasn't for the game I picked up from the followers, people that fell before us,
Mm-hmm. That's really how shamanism started too. I mean, so many shamans died just like eating plants and seeing what happened to them. No, that's how shamanism.
Knowledge. Those blood sacrifices.
It really was in some sense, because they would literally just, we have to figure out if we can eat this. That's how they figured out. How the fuck did they figure out to get the toad venom off of their back? You think some motherfuckers didn't die trying to get that? Absolutely they did.
Yeah. People have been dying for the advancements of others long before Jesus Christ came along.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge. So when I hear about people dying to teach me a lesson, or people like William Tinsdale die for translating that book, that means something to me.
That's also like the story of the Knights Templar. That's also the story of a lot of these mystery schools. Yeah. The idea is, and you know, this information comes from the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
That they were to protect the Holy Grail. And imagine, you know, these are the names of people we know, but imagine nobody knows who you are, but you know the significance of something. I think that's, I've contemplated, just like I asked you earlier, is there anything you would die for? Well, you answered.
What did I say?
You said
something I gotta really believe it's worth it.
Right. And so if there is these things in our reality that are worth it, it's better to, in my opinion, to really die for something you believe in than to live a life for nothing.
Yeah. What is your definition, if we had to put it in words, something worth dying for?
Something worth dying for.
What would be worth? On a numbers, not oh, my daughter, save my daughter's life, some shit like that. I'm talking like numbers, like hard Webster's dictionary stiffness of what's worth dying for you.
The advancement of the human race.
Okay, I heard that. Would it matter if you remember for it or not?
No.
It wouldn't matter if you remember for it. See, maybe that's my ego, because I feel like if I sacrifice myself, I want a fucking statue with my goddamn name on it.
Well,
maybe that's my ego, and so fucking be it.
I get it, but think about reincarnation. If you believe in reincarnation,
because it can't be created or destroyed anyway. Blah 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 blah.
Well, no.
Right, go ahead.
Also, who's gonna remember you? Who do you want to remember you? The people that are gonna die anyways?
Well, if life, death, rebirth are patterns anyway, so and consciousness is constantly changing form, like water changes form. It's kind of like I might fuck around and come back and learn it from the shit I left behind. You never know.
But what if the only thing that is here is you? And if it's only you, if there's only one consciousness, then you want you to remember yourself.
Oh, damn.
So right. What's the point of that? You know, that's why I say the only thing worth is the advancement of human. What that really means is the evolution of consciousness.
What's the definition of advancement of human race?
Moving towards.
What would be advancement for human race?
That's a good question.
So that's vague, you know?
The advancement towards compassion and a human species that operates in the form of cooperation instead of competition. And that being the primary basis of society. And so if it's operating in cooperation, that's based in compassion. And the advancement of the human race is to cooperate with each other. You can compete in a healthy way, just like you can go on a bodybuilding stage and compete in a healthy way and, you know, shake the hands of other people. It doesn't have to be nasty, but there's a fine line there, because the advancement of the human race, it's not to say that we shouldn't have peak humans. That's not what it is. Yeah. It's that if I'm going to die for someone or a cause, to me, if that contributes to the alleviating of other human suffering, that's the advancement of the human race. And I think that's the fundamental tenet of Buddhism. They're trying to alleviate human suffering. I mean, there's bodhisattvas or types of Buddhas that come back and they vowed to keep reincarnating until all humans stop suffering.
But good luck with that.
And all sentient life, too. It's not just humans.
Oh, that might take another trillion years. Trillion.
That's what they think is worth dying for, and they will continue to get born and die over and over.
Yeah. Good luck with that, especially over here living without women, because we need women on board. We need the women on board.
Yeah.
Divine, feminine, masculine must work together. We forgot that. Well, I guess they forgot that part.
Not yet. What's coming back?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, we all live on the same planet, but we don't all live in the same world. You know, I personally believe maybe it's not designed for the whole Earth to work together as one. Maybe for people to have their own systems in place. You know, kind of like you plant a tree. You know, I believe this is just my opinion. Maybe it'll change in the future. Maybe my opinion will change in the future. But as of right now, where I'm at, bro, create my own little world because we all live on the same Earth. We all live on the same planet, but we don't all live in the same world. Like the Buddhists got their own shit. I need to have my own system, my own community. You know, I'm not talking full blown secret society type of shit, but a community of like-minded people that like stuff like this, and we look at numbers. We try to, you know, and we're trying to grow. Hopefully, reach Christ consciousness, the real legit Christ consciousness.
You know, you sound like Nietzsche. You ever heard of Nietzsche, the German philosopher?
Yeah, I heard of him. Never studied him.
I've studied a lot of Nietzsche, and what you're saying rings of what his words were and what his fundamental tenet was, and it was that
universal one. You see how the game go? I never studied him, but I'm pretty sure we got some shit in common.
I mean, literally, he called the last man. He had a term called the Superman and the last man. Sometimes Superman is called the Übermensch.
Yeah.
The idea is that the last man in society, or when society is about to fall, because we've talked about civilizations rising and falling, the idea is that they seek comfort at the forefront, and there's no herdsman but one herd. And the idea, he was against, I wouldn't say he was against religion, but he worried that religion kept people under control because they didn't think for themselves.
I agree.
Which goes back to the archetype of the everyman. And so what you're saying is that we don't need to live in a system of religion necessarily, but create our own human values, create our own system of understanding through studying things, but not committing to this is the exact way everyone should live. And so the Übermensch is the reverse of the last man, and it really speaks true to what you're saying. Like, Buddhists can have their thing, but it's not the ultimate.
I break it simply down to the atoms. You know, let's break it down to the atoms. What is a marriage? We can call it a marriage contract, whatever. Break it down to the atoms. Marriage is a covalent bond, right? And let's get to the water, because water is a messenger. How does water stay in flow state? Conditions must be kept at a certain range, right? If it goes 212, it starts to boil, evaporate, right? It goes below 33, starts to freeze. And notice in a marriage, they have vows. See, they're together, and those vows, those words is going to create the bond. Just break down why people divorce. I don't want to hear all this and all that. Point blank, period. Vows wasn't kept. The end. To some degree, whatever, and we go watch your wedding and rewind that shit. Go watch it. Whatever the fuck you said in front of that audience, witnesses, which is the ritual, by the way. Whatever you said, I'm sure to some degree I didn't stick to it, and that's how the game, and that's why your shit evaporated, or even worse, you're in a state of too hardened hearts, you're frozen and stuck. I've met people like that.
So fine.
Some people want a divorce, but it's too expensive. They can't afford to live alone. They need to share the rent. They need to share these bills. They got kids. It's not about us no more. Trust me. And the issue is the flow state. Whatever the fuck y'all said at that wedding, you need to go watch that video, because to some degree, it's the vows were not kept 100. That's how the energy works. It's not even my opinion. This is backed by the science of atoms. This is backed by spirituality. Notice in the Bible, Jesus said, "I'm not good." He said, "I'm not good." But what did it say about a woman, about a wife? If you find a wife, you found a what? Good thing. All women aren't wives, though. That's why you gotta have discernment. You got to have that discernment. That's a whole other topic. But the point I make is marriage is a covalent bond.
It's also a covenant.
Exactly. Which is another bond.
Mm-hmm.
Notice the rainbow. We talk about the 7 bonds. So just breaking down how water works, it teaches you how all bonds work. If we come into a partnership, we have a partnership established. Now we got the shared electrons. See how the game goes? Elect. Focus on that word elect. We got to start knocking down some to keep our bond strong. Okay, we recording every Monday, no matter what. Start having rules to keep us aligned. See, once you understand how atoms work, atomic structure, covalent bonds, it's just simple. See, when I hear a word like marriage, I don't hear marriage, but I hear covalent bond. You see how the game goes? I stick to the numbers. And then you start hearing their problems, what they're going through. Oh, this is why you're going through this, blah, blah, blah. Macros, micros. Start hearing numbers. Okay, your calories. Oh, shit, you're in a fucking deficit. Y'all draining each other. But it takes a level of honesty that most people don't. And I don't blame you guys, please. Because let me tell you, some people tell your business to the streets. Some people tell your business to their friends. I understand. I'm not on camera telling nobody to share their personal business with nobody. I'm just saying, if you ever, that's why I thank God for my mother and father. They're still here, thank God, and I'm hoping God keeps them here much longer. But there's been times where I needed to hear an honest opinion from somebody who loves me and don't want. So sometimes people give you advice, it's just gonna lead towards them.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like somebody asked me how much protein you need. And I'll just say, hey, try to get in about 1 gram per pound of body weight. But I could easily make it seem like an impossible task to sell my protein to them. I can make it sound like an impossible task to get them to buy that protein, right? No. I just, now keep in mind, there's a side of me, I'm a businessman, let's just keep it real. But see, I'm at a certain level consciously now, and I understand it's a cheat code. So what I'm gonna tell that young brother is, yeah, bro, try to get 1 gram per pound of body weight. You can get it through food. But if you have a hard time getting all that protein in, try getting 2 scoops of protein after your workout. It's gonna help you out. That's how you can give the truth, and not steer them where you want to steer them. You see how the game goes? And that's how I look at everything. I look at everything as numbers. And when somebody asks me for advice, I just try to give them the facts. Because I don't want that shit coming back to me. It's gonna come back one way or another, especially if the intentions were good. I try to give it with love. Can't go wrong with love. If I give you some game with love, it can't go wrong. But I try to give you some game to try to make myself seem cooler than what I am, right? Or try to bring traffic towards me, then that's very risky.
Yeah.
That's very risky. If you're a true alchemist, you can make it work. We got wizards out here.
We do. You're not wrong.
Yeah, we got wizards out here. Manifestor masters.
That's right.
Masters of manifestation.
Oh my God, man. Holy shit. That's a whole nother one.
That's a whole other part, maybe for next one.
Yeah, we'll save that for the next.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit. All right, I got one more question for you.
Go ahead.
Let's say you did get past that firmament. Let's say just somehow, dude, you got out there. You saw it for yourself.
And you know what's funny? When I was going through my fucking mental health crisis, I had a vision of myself floating outside the fucking earth. I swear to God. I was screaming.
In the middle of space.
Bro.
Or water, whatever.
Oh my God.
We don't know.
Thank God for my woman, bro. She put up with a lot of shit. I went through so much. I put my family through a lot of shit. I was spiritually attacked, bro. But yeah, go ahead. Dude.
You're floating through space.
Oh, Jesus.
Imagine that you teleported back into that moment.
Okay.
And you knew it was going to happen. And you realized that this podcast was the last time you're going to be able to say anything to humanity. And if you had one final message to the world, what would it be?
One final message, bro.
Could be anything.
Man, I want to think because this might,
you can take a second.
Let me think, bro.
Yeah.
One message that, wow.
If you knew this was your last.
If I knew, and I want to give them one message. Man, that is so powerful, brother.
Sometimes people say a sentence, sometimes people say the whole thing. It's completely up to you.
You can always be better. No matter how good you are, you can always get better. And some people are going to say, some people might disagree with that, maybe stay comfortable. But here's the thing. We know just off of numbers alone, inflation's a very real thing. Today's price ain't going to be next week's price, right? Standard of living price is going to always increase. That's how energy works to some degree in every aspect. Like to stay firm, to stay grounded, you got to constantly progress forward. Which is why I don't like the whole Terrence Howard curves. Mm-hmm. Nah, discipline is a straight line. Present moment, isometric hold. We're held into this present moment. We can always beware because look, negative energy is going to creep wherever you're weak. So always try to be better. Not better than the next person. Because that's where you fuck yourself. Just be better version. The version of you, just try to keep constantly improving on that. Cause that's how the frequency works. You are like your brain and spine is like an antenna. You're in your own frequency. Don't fuck yourself by comparing yourself to other people. Some people can't even celebrate their small wins because you're comparing yourself to somebody on Instagram. You can't even be grateful for what you've gotten because you're trying, you wishing you had what somebody else got. Stay focused. Write down, start journaling things, journaling your goals, journaling on things about your life you want to improve, right? And start making progress. Like I was just saying earlier, man, I want to see my daughter smile more. Let me work on that. Maybe I spend a little more time with her. Maybe I start getting home from the gym a little earlier before so I can be the one to tuck her in. Sometimes I'll come home hella late. She's already in bed. Let me try to create a deeper bond with my daughter. Small improvements. Focus on your world. Man, my income, I want to see a little more. Last Christmas could have been a little better. Maybe I had to give my grind a little more. Maybe Christmas can be better next year if I grind a little harder. I ain't start putting the money away for savings. Let me start working on my budgeting a little more. Even in Proverbs, they talk about budgeting. Are you familiar with the Joseph the Dreamer story? They had their 7 years of famine, right? So they have to save up and prepare for that. That's how a lot of shit works. So, maybe I start working on my finances. So, plan for the future. You never know. That Corona shit, a lot of people didn't see coming. That Corona shit fucked a lot of people up. So, you can always be better. You can always be better. Constantly try to improve. Don't compare yourself to nobody else, but you must be fruitful. You must be fruitful. Just see some progress. Don't compare yourself to other people. Focus on seeing measurable progress in your own world. It's like building a fire. You can expand the fire. You see how the game goes? Progress is like that fire. Once you see a little progress, okay, I'm making an extra $20 a week. Okay, I got that fire going. Let's expand this shit, Okay, I got my house. Some people, the bills are paid, right? Food's in the stomach, but we don't. You know how the energy could be at the house. That love. Let me get my energy, the vibe at the house back, right? You know what I mean? There's so many ways we can be productive and make progress. You can always be better.
There it is, dude. Holy shit, dude. That's a beautiful way to end the podcast. Thanks for coming on, man. And I want to shout out we got coming on.
Yeah.
We got Pump Chasers Intra Pump. And we've also got, this is your brand, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pump Chasers Whey. Tell me about these.
All right. So the Intra Pump is, how when you work out, especially when you sweat a lot, you're going to sweat a lot of minerals.
Yeah.
So this has electrolytes in it.
Nice. Pre-workout.
And it's good flavoring, tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
And it has BCAAs. And BCAAs can help with muscle soreness. So if you're cutting, somebody who's cutting for the summer, and you're really pushing yourself, what BCAAs can do is help with soreness. We tend to not train as hard when we're fucking sore, especially if your calories are low. So you're sore and your calories are low. It can really affect your efforts and intensity in the gym. So one thing about Intra Pump is really going to help you push in that gym.
You know what's funny is hearing you talk about these, I forget that your main thing isn't like what we were just talking about. You know, it's so interesting. But then you've got Way here.
GAF. Now GAF family.
What does it stand for?
It stands for good as fuck.
Dude, now I gotta try it.
So guys, I say I'm a numbers guy. It says good as fuck for a reason. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Well, you can check that out. There'll be a link below. Anything else you got going on you want to share with people?
No, man, I'm just continuing. I want to come out with a series called The Book of Beast Mode.
Mm-hmm. You've been talking about that for a long time.
Just pretty much share what I've learned and an unbiased. You see how the game goes, and just share with an unbiased, loving approach. Just share what I've learned about that third eye, that invisible shit, and that way it can help somebody in the future. Because let me tell you, so many things I learned the hard way. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Good luck. Some people, let's just say, bro, some people don't get saved. I was one of the lucky ones who got saved. So, Book of Beast Mode series pretty much will be like this is a series of self-help tips, because creating your own character is a spiritual practice in itself. You know, we choose the character we want to be. We may not choose our circumstances. We don't choose, where we live and all that, right? Until you reach a certain level consciously, right? Of course, you can move out and
there's like the limitations that are placed upon you versus the one,
But regardless of your circumstances and all that, we can all choose the character, and that's very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So just pretty much giving some good self-help tips and things I learned about the metaphysics with numbers. Everything I want to be talking about with numbers. Nobody. That way nobody can come attacking me. Good luck attacking numbers.
We're trying to. Yep, I love that you do that. It's not just like your own.
Yeah, cause the thing about me, bro, I don't like arguing with people.
You don't.
So I notice when you have numbers, like, who are you gonna argue with? Go argue with the author. Go argue with the dictionary. Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Now we can talk. Now we can debate on how we feel about the rules. Kind of like the whole Garden of Eden thing. We took that from different angles.
We hit the shit right. The Garden of Eden.
I didn't pretty much give my personal feeling. I just gave the observations. Looked at it from Adam's point of view. Looked at it from God's point of view. Like, there's so many ways to look at that. That's not. He ate the fruit. He was wrong. How was he really wrong? It's not natural. It's perfectly natural to have doubts. Remember, doubting Thomas. Peep the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfectly natural to have doubts. At least Thomas went and look. He said, I don't want to hear that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He said, until I see the piercing through the hands, I don't want to hear this crap. See, that's me. Until I see some hard numbers and facts, get the hell out of here. Until then, I'm just like the whole moon thing. I'm just left or right with it. I'm kind of like, But once you give me those hard numbers, those piercing through the hands numbers, then shit, maybe my tune will change.
How soon can we expect the book?
Man, bro, you know what's funny? If I should have already had it I should have already had it, bro.
Okay, well, when it's out, we'll put it below.
Yeah, but
you let me know.
It's one of those things.
I'm gonna get it.
It's one of those things. The more I learn, I feel I don't know nothing.
Yep.
You ever been there?
I'm all the time.
And who those philosophers? Some philosopher said that I know nothing. Was that Socrates?
Yeah.
Bro, I feel like that every day. I think Einstein said something like that in a different way too.
The more I know, the more I realize I know nothing.
Yeah, and
Socrates.
Einstein said something similar to that, bro. Like, that's what kind of been holding me up. But I know low key, I should already have a book out.
It's basically the same quote. Yeah.
Yeah, because people like Robert Greene, he got several books.
I've talked to him. Yep.
Right? He has several books. So it's time, bro. That's why doing stuff like this. That's all. I probably feel more inspired and motivated knowing there's a community that's fucking with me on this.
I've done it.
Because you got to keep mom in the bodybuilding world. Could you imagine trying to get them on board with that, So,
well, you're not just a bodybuilder.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a true philosopher, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. So
very good.
If I feel a sense of community, once I feel a sense of community, I'll be more inspired to write.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, we'll keep it updated when that does come through.
Yes, sir.
We'll put that in the description so people can check that out. Because I have a feeling people are going to be listening to this for a long time, man.
So. Hey, the first time, not the last, for sure.
Yes, sir.
It was so refreshing talking to you, brother.
Good. I'm glad, man. I love doing the podcast because, it's funny. We came into this. We didn't even talk about what we were going to talk about. We just sat the fuck down, had a conversation, and I'm actually really pleasantly.
I be real with you for the future.
Yeah.
That's how I like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
that's how I do it every time.
It just comes off more. It flows.
Yeah.
And when you're really in truth anyway, fully in truth, and you're in your flow state, should no question be catching you off guard like that anyway. And if you don't know something, we have a computer right there to pull shit up.
Yep.
I have no problem saying, I don't fucking know. Let's pull it up.
Yeah.
Some people can't do that though. Right? That's why I tell you about their pride.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they're so prideful, they'll just say some shit that sound good so they won't look stupid online. But you're looking even dumber when somebody like myself is gonna look at them numbers. Like, hold on, this don't make no sense. Hold on, man.
Bro, that's why I got the laptop. I'm looking shit up constantly to be like, all right, where are we at?
Yeah.
I think we're aligned in that way that we don't want to just say shit that sounds cool, but we want to make sure it's in truth.
Because I realize there's so many households. There's so many households, and there's so much bullshit pushed out there. I want to be part of the problem. You see how the game goes?
100%.
I don't want to be part of the fuck. I'm not saying I'm trying to save the world and no shit like that, but I damn sure want to be part of the problem.
I'm gonna do your best, yeah.
I don't want to be part of the problem. So when we do these type of things, I appreciate how you got your laptop there and how you so adamant about finding that Dina thing. That means something to me because when I go watch your shit, I'm like, man. It came from my brother, okay?
We're trying to be on point, bro.
It came from my brother. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I know. I sat with him. Shit.
Yeah. And, we couldn't find it, and I think that's okay, and I think that's part of it.
I think that's fun. People can do their homework and look.
Yeah.
You might fuck around and have a guy who's in a Jewish scholar, because there's Jewish scholars out here who pull at them, the what it's called? The commentary writers?
Bro, that's already happened. I already did a podcast that was a Theory of Everything podcast, and I had a quantum physicist write me.
Yeah.
I believe he was a quantum physicist and a professor, and he came on the podcast and talked about the other podcast. Yeah. So, yeah.
And they have people that wrote commentary about the books. Like, there's, bro, so much out there. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. We went long enough. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and see you next time. And shout out to the viewers. If the ones who watch this, thank you guys, man.
Yeah, you're real. You're the real ones. We appreciate you. And that's been it for the human game. As you said, thanks for listening. And until the next time. Good night, everybody. And handshake, brother.
All right.
There it is. What an episode with Chris. I can't even believe how much he had within his understanding that I feel like has never been shared. And it really hasn't. And I'm really glad that we had him on and we were able to go deep for a longer form discussion and really understand him on a deep level. And so my reflections on this podcast were that it really is profound to see how in numbers and in language there are meanings encoded in a symbolic way that change the meaning. And it's through allegory and story that the meaning is hidden within these texts. And I think it's so important to understand this, because if we're always taking a literal interpretation, I think we're missing out. And this takes someone like you, right, and me, who is willing to look at the deeper level, because we know that they had to hide the meaning in order for it to get past the systems that wanted to control the meaning for a certain level of control over humans. So it had to be hidden. And I think this was such a beautiful episode because we went into how it is in symbolism that we find the truth, and in story. There's a reason why Jesus spoke in story, and also in the numbers. And so when we understand the etymology of language, when we understand how these numbers reflect certain patterns and meanings, then we can see that these books are just like in the East. The Bhagavad Gita is not necessarily meant to be understood as a literal story that happened, but one of the biggest parts of it is understanding the symbolic meaning behind it. And I think that's one thing that is missing in the Western culture, is the idea that these are literal things that happened, and a focus on the literal interpretation for people to be controlled through the hierarchical, I believe that's a word, systems that want to control humans through religion and want to control humans through really any form. It's not just religion. And so, of course, over thousands of years, if the text isn't kept really dialed in and it isn't kept in the original form that it came, which we know with the Bible it hasn't, then I think one of the things we can do is really look at the original translations, look at the etymology, and understand how language works. And this is so important because think of the billions of people that believe in literal interpretations of books and what that causes versus if we understand that maybe it was meant to be more symbolic of the human journey, of the hero's journey, and of the human game that we're playing. And I think that those masters, such as Jesus, did encode, as we talked about so much in this episode, that deeper meaning so that it could get to us. Because if you're at that, think about it, if you're at that level of consciousness, you're going to know what's going to happen. People are going to try to take over your message for control. And so to speak in story and to speak in symbology, and then to understand the etymology of what it really means, it is so profound and important in our experience of the metaphysical reality because it's in all the texts, the symbolism. And so that's something that I am profoundly interested in. And I feel like it's something that I want to continue to do because it's had such an impact on my life. And so I hope this episode was fruitful for you, as Chris would say, the fruits. And yeah, if you enjoyed this episode and you really did get value from it, stick around. Stick around. We'll be going deeper on many more. We have many more episodes. The next episode is with Claiborne, and it is on this similar, very, very similar topic. It is basically the same topic, decoding the Bible. So I've already done episodes with Claiborne. If you're like, I want to watch it now, it's not out yet. Well, I already did like 4 episodes on it. So this is something that I do here on The Human Game because I am so passionate about it. And I love to surround myself with people who are also passionate about it and all different types of people. We're not just we're talking to quantum physicists and we're talking to people that are breaking down the Bible. We're not just like one-dimensional here on The Human Game. So that is the essence of what I'm doing here. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, they call it different things on different platforms. Follow the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast and check out more episodes. I think you'll really enjoy them. And also, if you want to support the podcast and what I'm doing here with The Human Game, don't forget to check out in the description Metahuman Shilajit and other options to support the podcast. And I immensely appreciate any and all support, no matter how small or large. It means so much to me because this podcast is about more than just talking. It's about really exploring the deepest levels of philosophy, human consciousness in general, metaphysics, science, spirituality, all of it. And that is what I am here to do and share with you, guests that I feel like will help you to understand yourself in this reality on a deeper level and to give you that practical understanding that actually affects your everyday life and helps you to suffer less and alleviate your suffering, as they would say in Buddhism. And so that is the mission of this podcast. And so if you wish to support it and you would like to support it, you can check out down below for more on that. And that'll do it for today's episode of The Human Game. And I'll see you on the next one. And until then, peace.